हाँ जी दोस्तों, क्या हाल है, क्या हाल है, क्या हाल है। आई होप यू आर ऑल डूइंग रियली रियली वेल दोस्तों.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this amazing session. So, guys, here we are going to take a test of CA final of 100 marks here under the tag of self-paced online module, which is set A, corporate and economic law. So, students, listen carefully to what I am about to say. I am going to explain you so many concepts. I am going to tell you many things that you may already know about this set A, or you may not know to some extent, but I will explain you everything. Before we begin this class, let me give you a very brief introduction of myself. You guys are going to listen me explain for approximately next 35 to 40 hours. So I can do a small introduction of 1 minute, right? My name is Shubham Singhal and I had cleared my CA back in November of 2018. Thereafter, I did my articleship from Deloitte, which is one of the big four in Mumbai. I worked there in statutory audit department. After that, I worked with Mumbai International Airport Limited, which is basically, let's just say I was with Mumbai International Airport Limited and then I joined Guild Capital, which is a venture capital firm. And since then, I have been into teaching and currently I teach CA Interlaw, CA Final Law and CA Final Direct Tax and CMA Final Law. Okay. So guys, this was my introduction. I won't give more introduction about myself right now. I will keep telling you more later. And now, first, let me tell you students that I am going to start was in the introduction of SPOM course. This video will be the only video on YouTube. From tomorrow onwards, we will shift to the app. I wanted to take today's lecture on app, but a lot of students were facing issue with app and they could not log in, so I took it on YouTube instead. So students, please activate your app by this evening or maximum by tomorrow morning. I will give you the details at the end of the class. Just relax, sit down and focus. Dear, it's not Shubham Singham, it's Shubham Singhal. You are not pronouncing it correctly. Okay, now listen to me very carefully. Today we are going to talk about set A law. Sir, what is set A law? Tell us a little bit about its course. What are the things that are included in its course? And how will you teach? Will you tell everything? Listen quietly for the next 20 minutes. Then I will tell you everything. Listen carefully. First of all, students, I will introduce you all to your course. As you can see on my screen, this is the weightage that is issued by the institute. You can see here what is the weightage for the corporate and economic law. How many marks are there? It's full 100 marks. In that you will see your corporate law, it is worth 70 marks. Can you see? It involves two things. One is company law and the other is SEBI Act and SEBI regulations. Weightage of company law is 50 marks and weightage of SEBI Act is 20 marks, which means it has a very significant weightage. After that, if you look at part 2, it comes from economic law, its weightage is 30 marks, means the exam is of 100 marks. My assumption is that exam will be of 100 marks only. Like in descriptive exam, they make exam of 116 marks at place of 100 marks. So you could write whatever you want from both options. Those types of questions won't be found here. I don't think so. But you people have to understand that our exam is of 100 marks. Now, what are the topics in our syllabus, sir? First of all, tell me what's the difference between the old law and the current law. I don't think you have studied the old one, right? Unfortunately, there is not much difference between them. The syllabus should have been reduced much, but there isn't that much difference. First of all, I think they put the whole Companies Act as it is in this. They took the Companies Act and put it in. You can take any chapter, winding up, NCLT, removal of companies, just name anything, it's here. Even small companies chapters, they have included them in the syllabus, and I will show they also have significant weightage. But they have left something in the economic law. If you want to know about the Company Act, they have removed a chapter called foreign company. That's it. There are no other major changes. If you look what is removed. So in economic law, as of today, there are only 3 chapters left. One is FEMA, which is called the Foreign Exchange Management Act. This is something that you all must have heard of, because if you have seen the old syllabus for the final, then you know that this was one of the chapter. And if you have given enter in the new syllabus, then you know there is a chapter called FEMA. Apart from that, here we have FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. It's a very nice chapter. And this chapter also has a significant weightage, and C, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The weightage of this is technically very high. So you have 3 chapters. The good thing is that they kept IBC only and only till section 33. When I was in CA final, I remember I had studied section 57 of IBC. And even after that, we used to study different pre-packaged things, some things which are not here. Your IBC syllabus has been reduced, but they have given you complimentary access, means students take a hand, give a hand. Haven't you heard about ICAI scheme? Take a hand, give a hand. It's same thing. They made significant additions to the course of SEBI. Now look, there is SEBI Act. It's SEBI LODR. Yes, students, say with me. It's LODR. Sir, why are you saying that? I'm not saying. It's a shortcut for listing obligations disclosure requirement. This LODR used to be there earlier as well. Okay, this used to be there before. It still does, but 3 new regulations have been added. You can see this, which is ICDR, means issue of capital and disclosure requirements. Substantial acquisition of shares and takeover. We also call it the takeover code. And lastly, prohibition of insider trading. These 3 have been added, but sir, which is the most important? You know, this one and this one and this one. Yes, all 3 are important. That's why they are added. They won't add unnecessary things. They also don't want to be scolded. Okay, so students, what did I say to all of you? I said that you all have to read these 3 acts and these regulations, right? All 3 are very important. There is no option because it's given for 20 marks. If they have written 10 marks here, then I will tell you what's important. We will leave this anyway. We need 50 marks, right? Neither you are giving us respect nor you are writing our marks in our certificate. We will be a little scared if you write our marks in our mark sheet. You are not setting limitation on number of attempts. Only thing is you charge 500 rupees as fees. This way I will finish my office and sit there. If I enjoyed writing, then fine. If not, I'll go tomorrow. Okay, but what did I say? I said that this topic, SEBI, is very important for you all. Right now, it's extremely important, but I want to tell you something personal. It's practically relevant as well, because in practical life, when you go and learn CS work, you'll find this very helpful. That's good. Now come, let's do some analysis on Companies Act. See the first 3 chapters of Companies Act 1, 2 and 3. These 3 chapters are called Directors chapter. The Directors chapter has a weightage of 35 to 45%. On an average, it's 40%. How many marks, sir? Look, it's out of 50 marks. So it means 20 marks for this 3 Directors chapter means it is very important. After that, see inspection, inquiry, compromised arrangement, prevention, operation, mismanagement. If we do all these very slowly, step by step, these concepts will be completed in 3-4 hours. If this is 6-hour concept and its weightage is approximately 25%, means it will be of around 12 marks. I am taking an average, just estimate, okay? And the third one is winding up, miscellaneous, and other than that, we have adjudication and special courts. If you combine all 3, you will see 30 to 35, means how many marks are there. The weightage is approximately around 15 to 18, means it has more weightage than that. So even if I think about leaving the winding up, its weightage wouldn't let me. But I'll tell you something interesting, students. This weightage that is coming right like this much, 15 to 18 marks, it is not because of winding up. Yes, it's not because of winding up, okay? This is high because there is a concept of Nidhi, provision in miscellaneous provisions. One concept is of Nidhi provision, second concept is NCLT or NCLAT. This is one of my favorite topic, okay? Those who know knows, right? What did I say? What are the topics like Nidhi provision? You don't need to write anything, just sit and watch the show. You sit like that, hands behind, comfortably, get some popcorn, right? And you sit and watch. Okay, when I will say, place the popcorn aside and start studying with me. Okay, so let's understand the basic things. It has NCLT, NCLAT, there is removal of companies, there is dormant company, there is government company. It has provisions for fraud. All these provisions that you see here, if you get one question from each of these provision and each question for 2 marks. So these question will be for 12 marks, right? So its weightage is significant and this adjudication, it's NCLT, I have taken them up. So take 2 more marks for this. So a good amount of weightage will go to your miscellaneous chapter, right? So students, we will not do this winding up chapter in detail, okay? We won't do it. As soon as I said no, we will not do it, you got a little tense, right? But why? Listen, I will tell you something. You put your 100% efforts, which topic we have to drop and which not to drop. Let me decide that. So please students, focus and finish your part properly. Okay, we will decide. We may not give best, but you have to. Listen students, the winding up provision, is not practically relevant in today's date. Why? Because now the time has come where we completely rely on insolvency and bankruptcy code. Right students? If your company is on the verge of closing, you will go in the insolvency bankruptcy code. In the winding up, there are very few scenarios that will come. Roughly 4 marks question will come. I will tell you its cheat code. I will not tell you now. I will tell you later. If you will do the cheat code, if you will do it along with me, then you don't need to do anything else. And you will get 4 out of 4. This is confirmed. What are you saying, sir? I know this will be done. Don't worry, this is winding up, which is done. Let's talk about one more thing. We will complete the SEBI Act, and now let's look at economic law. So what you are asked in economics law, it comes of 35 to 40% out of 30 marks. That means FAMA alone has weightage of almost 10 to 12 marks, right? Yes, students, FAMA is back again in the syllabus. They have made it so big. Look, it was fine till introduction and till definition. And then they put the latest regulations where they imposed penalties and they made it a 100-page chapter, didn't they? I understood it will go into your category C minus. It will be in category of C minus. I will tell you the cheat code for this chapter too. This is the cheat code that as much as you will do, I will tell you some selective topics. Not now, later on. You just cover as many topics I will tell you. You will not get all 12 marks from them, but at least 6. Rest 6 we will give up. We will take care of your 4 marks of winding up. If 2 marks are gone, 6 marks are gone from this. How many marks are gone? 8, 92 marks are left. We need 50 marks, but we will get 70. Let's be on the safer side and try getting 70 marks. Be happy. So this is going to be our POA. POA means plan of action. And I gave you an introduction to what this is all about. I gave you an introduction of your syllabus. I justified everything, even the small details to you, like what our approach is going to be. Okay, now sir, a big question comes to your mind. Sir, will you take MCQ? Sir, please tell. I will take all the MCQs. Okay. I am compiling a book specially for MCQ, which I will be able to give you probably in 5 days. That booklet will be available to you. You can print that PDF. In that booklet, I will give you all MCQs that have been prepared by the institute till the present date. I will give you all the questions in compiled and organized way without any repeated questioners. And for that, I will have to look at each MCQ, so it will take me time. Let's assume it should be done by the end of this month. Before that, I can't even if I want to, there are about 500 to 550 MCQs. So far, I have not started removing the duplicates. So I will do this as well. So your MCQs will also be done. I had told you syllabus and weightage. Now I will tell you our approach in class. This approach in class is very important for you guys. Will you be able to do it in 30 hours or will it take you 75 hours? What is it? There are 2 types of students, those who have already studied and those who are studying first time. For those who have already studied, it will be fun for them. It will feel like we are going slow. But the students who are studying for the first time, you have to understand that you have to give me time, a little more time. I have calculated today only that I will complete your entire syllabus in 36 hours. I planned it accordingly so that you will be able to learn easily and with clear justification of every topic. In this, your some lectures may include topics from your ultimate batch, specifically 1 hour lectures that cover the entire concept. But you need to understand that in 36 hours, there are 2 types of students. Some who understand it slowly, even in 100 hours, even you all can do it in 36 hours. But I just have one request. After attending one class, when you go to attend another class, do one thing, take a moment and pause and then review what you learned in the previous class. If you sit down and spend 36 hours by learning what I taught after those 35 hours, let's say, and then you put 20 hours more in revision, then this is sufficient. It will be enough for you. Let me tell you something simple. If you have time in your exam, if your exams are far, then you can also watch my 75 hours lectures. Okay, students? Sir, we need to book a slot. When should I book it? I will let you know tomorrow. I will definitely let you know by tomorrow that after this date you can book it. I told you you can do it in first week of next month, but hold it for now. I will definitely let you know by tomorrow so that you don't have any deviation in planning. So after that, come here. Will it help in IBS? Yes, sir, it will help in IBS. You don't have to worry about IBS. You should know that the question in your exam came from which section. The rest you have to do yourself only. Okay? So we'll also do the IBS thing. Those who are going to attempt it now, I mean in the coming exam, just do this 30 hours. That's it. No discussion. Further, no discussion. Okay? Let's start, sir. What will be in coverage class? Will it be based on weightage MCQ oriented? I told you about FEMA and winding up and I will tell you about its cheat code. I also told you that SEBI will be completely covered. Let me tell you about case scenarios and MCQs. Look here, Institute has taken out a model test paper every year on their site. Model test paper, yes, it means it's type of sample paper. Now look here, you will see they have written model here, means this is the question from the model test paper. Look, it's 100 marks paper for 3 hours. All questions are compulsory and carry 2 marks. See, it's case study based. Case study 1, it's questions, then case study 2, and it's questions this way. But I will tell you one thing. See, the case study of the third question, it started here. It kept going. Third one is still okay. Now come to fourth one. Look, it started from here. It's going on, starts going on, starts is still going on, start keep going. Until here, they have just written the case study till this point. Then they asked 5 questions. The fun thing is that you can solve all those 5 questions without even reading the case study. You can solve all 5 questions except one without reading the case study. So don't be afraid. Even in case scenario, they are going to ask about individual MCQs level. It's not too tricky, we can do, but when it's tricky, we'll have to do one thing, just give up that question. Just give up. I have the option to give up 50 times. You understand? Don't worry, these cases are all scenario based, but you should be confident. If you prepare for the individual MCQs, your case scenario will also be managed. Okay? You don't have extra time to sit and go through different case scenarios separately. I was informed earlier that the institute has done something. Listen. The institute has created a database of around 5,000 questions, and your questions in exam will be randomly chosen from that database. You guys play Tambola. One number comes out after shuffling. You guys will get some random questions. You guys can't do everything. You guys can just focus on the concepts. You'll manage the rest in the exam hall. It's not like that I have practiced a lot of case scenarios, which means I am more ready. Definitely yes, but the time you have is for the content, for the concepts. You will handle the rest of it yourself in the exam. Can you please speak in Hindi, dear? This is a Hindi-English batch, so there has to be a perfect balance between both. Okay? Sir, can you give the papers one by one? We will see all these things. The backup will be valid from the date of activation. Yes, dear, this is my request. Is it enough for us that if we just look at case study, do only that part and leave? No, dear. Unfortunately, for next 1.5 years, until complete list of MCQ is not leaked, till then we can't get CITT and MCQs list is leaked. Like until that PDF comes, until someone creates it, until then we can't take these shortcuts. It's better that you read those concepts completely. Okay? Ritik, yes, there is gap. I've written it on website as well. But anyways, guys, stop. Please stop asking questions. Just listen to me first. Okay? Listen carefully. You guys will get books. You will receive summary notes which are 100% similar to the ICAI module. And we have covered it completely in 250 pages. Extra 50 pages were taken by SEBI. Otherwise, it would be summarized in 200 pages only. Secondly, you will see about MCQs. I told you that MCQs are already included in it. I will give you a lot more by compiling them. The index of paper 6 is also included in the books that you will receive. Okay. The books that you will receive, it will include the index of paper 6, means the index is completely included. It will be useful for paper 6 and I will give you fresh MCQ. The number of hours is 30. It can extend to 40. First, we will do category A topics and on Sundays, there might be slightly longer classes. Having said that, I am done with introduction of course. Are you ready to start the law with me? Tell me. My chat is over. Look at this. This is the last thing I'll show you. It's my book which you will get. It takes lot of effort to make this book. If you look in it, you will see that you have complete index. This is the complete simple index given here. And then after that detailed index is also given. Okay. Neeraj, it's set A class. It's not general guidance video. Sir, whom should I give set C and set D? As soon as we mentioned Neeraj, the lights went out. Neeraj, what is this happening, dear? All right then, hear me out, students. Let's begin. Let's give this an auspicious start. We are on YouTube and as this is the first video, so please like it. Target for this video is 300 likes. This is a very simple target. I hope you guys will fulfill it to make this journey enjoyable. If you like it, then I will understand that you are having a good experience and you are listening. So you can like it whenever you want. Alright guys, now we will begin our class. Listen carefully to whatever I'm saying. From where are we going to start our class? Any guesses, guys? So today we are going to start with a new chapter and its name is... Note it down, guys. Open the notes. Let's write chapter 1. Appointment and qualification. of directors. Guys, I am also thinking of some more innovative ways to present MCQs for you, like playing in a gamified manner. Just give me a day or two. Okay, now. So I will explore that. Now all of you please pay attention here. So now we will discuss the appointment of the director. We are going to start Companies Act from section number 149. Just keep writing with me, okay? Keep jotting things as I write. Take down everything I am telling you in your notes. It starts from section 149 and we will be studying the entire Companies Act till section 470. In which your chapter 1 starts from 149 to 172. Clear? Remember, it's from 149 to 172. Dear, please write down everything that I am dictating. You all need to increase your writing speed and make sure to note down all of it. Can you tell me, in a company, why do we have BOD, that is Board of Directors? What is the purpose of having a Board of Directors in a company? I mean, what is the need for a Board of Directors? Why a Board of Directors is needed to run a company? If you guys are in a habit of tracking news, then last year Mukesh Ambani had Isha Ambani, Anant Ambani, Akash Ambani included in the board of directors, and Neeta Ambani got removed. So he brought his 3 kids to BOD. But what is the need for a board of directors? The shareholders are there, right? They can run the company. If you and I are going to invest in a company, then it is obvious that we would want to run that company. So as long as we are 3 to 4%, it's fine. But suppose if we become lakhs in number, then in that case, we can never run a company on our own. That's why what do we need? We need something different for that. We need some specialists who are professional and qualified, meaning we need some experts. And what will they do? They will run the company on our behalf. They will run as per our wishes, on our behalf and in our favor. So that's why what do we bring? We bring the board of directors. Hence a board of directors is required. And then what do we do with it? Okay, first tell me, why did we need a board of directors? Because our shareholders numbers are very high. There are a lot of shareholders. That is why we will need some professionals. And we also need some experts as well. So we need some professionals and experts. For that, what we do is we set up a board of directors in our company. Now this board of directors manages the entire company. You can think of these directors as our expensive employees who are given remuneration instead of wages. These people are expensive. We give them remuneration instead of wages. So what do these people do, guys? These people run the company. Now, dear students, this chapter that you have, which includes the Companies Act, look, it starts with section number 149. Please write down section number 149. What does it say? It says the company to have board of directors. Company should have a board of directors, which means 149 commands to have a board of directors, and companies can't disobey. So they are mandated to have a board of directors, as the law 149 explicitly says only one thing, that board of directors should be there. You will ask that who can join the board of directors? Then the law says that in board of directors only the individuals can come. The board of directors can only have individuals. Apart from individuals, no one else can come. After that, tell me, what is the minimum number of directors on the board of directors? Guys, just write along with me and keep listening. Minimum, how many directors are needed? Minimum, can I say that in the board of directors, I need minimum 20 directors? No, there has been given a simple limit that if you are a public company, then your board must have at least 3 directors. If you are a private company, you must have 2 directors. If you are one-person company, then you must have at least 1 director. For example, when we discuss about shareholders. Guys, is the voice fluctuating? I don't think so. It might be happening a little bit. You can adjust it. Okay. So you need to understand, in the case of a public company, when it comes to the number of shareholders, then just try to get this. In public, minimum of 7%, in private, minimum of 2, and in 1% just 1 is needed. Likewise, here also you need 3, 2, and 1 for board of directors. But this is the minimum. Is there also a maximum limit, guys? I mean, in my company, can I appoint 2,000 people as directors? Can we keep 2,000 directors? No, there is a maximum limit, and that limit is 15. 15 or such. Lower amount as AOA may prescribe. Okay, now what did I say? That 15 or such lower meaning lower amount as AOA may prescribe. AOA means Article of Association. Let me tell you, take Tata Motors for example. Tata Motors, what did they do? Don't write things that I will write with orange pen. Coming back to example, what did Tata Motors do? Tata Motors said, though law says limit is 15, but even 15 is too high. In our company, there will be maximum 12 people. Maximum 12 people will be on board of directors, which is good. Feel free to say anything lower than 15. No problem there. But what would be the maximum? It would be 15 or AOA, whichever is lower. Clear? 15 or AOA, whichever is lower. But just remember one thing, that this limit of 15, this maximum limit that we have, it is not applicable to government companies. And this is also not applicable to Section 8 companies. Government companies and Section 8 companies are not bound by this provision. It won't apply to them. So for them, there is no maximum limit. Government companies, for example, take BPCL. If BPCL want 20 directors to come on board, then that depends on the government's will. The Companies Act can't stop them from doing this. The Companies Act cannot stop them. Is this clear? So what did I say? That your board of directors will only have individuals. Now what do you mean by having only individuals? This means that company cannot become a director on the board of directors, right? Individuals mean person with flesh and blood. But company does not have a body of its own. We know that company is not a physical being. So a company doesn't have a brain to think, and therefore it can't run the business. That's why only individuals come on the board of directors. Besides individuals, nobody else comes on board. Are you all following me? I know you are listening, but are you also understanding? So not lower amount, but number. Specify a lower number. Yes. Okay. Did you get limits concept? Okay, now after that, the next point is, write down the next point. We need a woman director in our company. Just keep writing. Don't think why are we writing? We are writing all this because in theory, it is very difficult to focus. Just keep noting down things while listening attentively. Don't focus on your handwriting, rather keep jotting the information. Women directors, meaning in the entire board of director, it is mandatory to have a woman on the board as well. It is a non-negotiable provision. Now why is a woman director needed? Maybe tomorrow when the issue of men and women equality gets resolved, then I am sure this provision will be removed. So what does it say in the provision of woman director? The provision of woman director says that you need to have at least one woman on the entire board of directors. But students, tell me, to which company this provision applies? Is this for all the companies? No dear, not for all the companies. Only two types of companies are asked. First, those which are listed. So one is the listed company and second one is your unlisted companies. So guys, these are the two types of companies which requires to follow the mentioned provision. Unlisted public company whose paid up share capital is 100 crores or more, or the turnover is over 300 crore or more. So turnover is 300 crore or more. Thus the provision of woman director applies on both of these cases. So if you are a listed company, you must have at least one woman director on your board. You guys write at least one in front of this, okay? I hope you are following me. A company needs to have at least one woman director, and it should be which type of company? If this is a listed company, or if this company has paid up share capital of how much? So how much should be the paid up share capital? We are playing on limits only. In exam, although these limits are being used to frame questions, but they are also twisting questions with more than equal to. The limits I am writing down for you in the notes, please know that this is very important. Paid up share capital is more than equal to 100 crore. Or turnover is more than or equal to 300 crore. If you fulfill these criterias, then the provision of woman director will apply on you. Okay, let's discuss a situation, guys. Suppose today in Reliance Industries, Isha Ambani is the only woman director. Then tell me, if Isha Ambani resigns from her chair and she just leaves, what will happen? If someday Isha Ambani leaves her position from the board of directors, okay? Now assuming she was the only woman director, then in that case, the situation will be called an intermittent vacancy. Not intermittent fasting, students. A situation like this is called intermittent vacancy, meaning the position became vacant in between. It got emptied suddenly. Like there were many vacancies in board of directors before. In BOD, there were many chairs. This one chair was reserved for women, which is empty now. Got it? What should we do? We'll have to fill this chair with someone. But now here the law says, when this incident happened, after that, in the immediate next board meeting, or within 3 months, whichever is later. What do these words mean? Whichever is later. Come on guys, can you tell me? So you will have to understand what is the meaning of immediate next board meeting and whichever is later. We need to have a clarity. Speak up guys. You all need to get this clearly, that for example, if I were to tell you 1st of June 2025, if on the 1st of April 2025 the woman director's office becomes vacant, then what will happen? If she left the position, that woman director simply left the board and went away. When a woman director has resigned, then obviously we need to bring in another director. So we will bring her from 1st April to, you should know the date of first board meeting. I gave you 2 scenarios, right? If the next board meeting is on the 1st of June, what will happen? And if the next board meeting is on the 1st August, then what will happen? So students, you will compare this with 3 months. What date will come after 3 months? It will be 1st July 2025. Now among the two, you will compare whichever is later. If your next board meeting is on 1st June and time limit is till July 1st, then you have to appoint a woman director by 1st of July. But if your next board meeting is on the 1st of August, then you can't appoint before the board meeting. In that case, you will have to appoint by 1st of August, right? So whichever is later. Whichever is later. Please keep this in mind, students. I want to tell you guys one thing very clearly. When we are doing this under selective number of hours, then the few lines which I am making you skip in between, have trust on me and skip those lines. Otherwise, you'll have to spend 120 hours on the law. The lines I will make you skip, neither you will be able to send me doubts for them, nor you will be able to discuss. Because for your good, I can undoubtedly teach for 100 hours. I enjoy teaching anyways. The lines I will not explain you about, those do not need to be paid attention to. If you get them on studying, then good, or leave them. Subject taught in 200 hours. We taught them in 120 to 100 hours. Given the same syllabus, how can it be done in 35 to 40 hours? Okay guys. So did you guys understand this concept properly? Thus, whichever is later is a very important provision. There are high chances that MCQ will be made on this provision. It will be based on intermittent vacancy. If it becomes vacant, then immediate board meeting or 3 months, whichever is later. Or else, do you know what will happen? For example, like in this chat, let's say, so who is this girl? Divya, like she is in this chat now. What will she do? Pay attention. Let's assume our company is Reliance Industries. She is having problems with our company. So what will she do? She knows that there is a board meeting on the 1st June, a board meeting on June 1st, 2025. What will she do? She'll lay low and speak nothing. Suddenly she will resign just a day before. Resign a day before. Suppose instead of later, it would have been written earlier, whichever is earlier. What you would have seen in 3 months or next board meeting, whichever is earlier. When is next board meeting? It is in 2 to 3 days. Now we are stuck. The company is in trouble, but Divya rejoiced all these things. She took pleasure in our difficulties. But that's not good. So the law states that they will give minimum 3 months. But if the board meeting is even after that, then first immediate next board meeting or 3 months, whichever is later. Okay. Did you get it, guys? Can I ask a question? Listen, my next board meeting, pay close attention to this. My next board meeting is on 1st June. When did the seat got vacant? 1st of April. Next meeting is on 1st June. And its next board meeting is on 1st August. The first meeting is here, the second meeting is here. And from here, 3 months finishes at 1st July. Tell me, by what date will you appoint a woman director on the board? Till what date will the woman director be appointed? By what date? You need to see the immediate next board meeting. So after this, the next board meeting is only this one. There is no value of this date. Now between these two, whichever is later, yours is 1st of July. So you need to compare with 1st of July. You can't look at August 1st because you just need to see the immediate next board meeting. Okay, clear? Now guys, so let's proceed further in today's class. Now listen to what I am saying. Everybody please pay attention here. The woman director's provision is over. Now after this, let's quickly move on to the next topic, okay? All eyes here, please. What is the next provision? So students, the next type of director that comes is resident director. Write it down in your notes. Write about the next provision, which is the resident director. Resident director. Can you tell me what comes under the resident director? What does resident director envisage? What does it includes? Okay, in the beginning, I am taking things very slow and keeping it simple for you guys so that you can form a rhythm and you also get familiar with the subject. We'll pick up pace gradually. Just understand that we are slowly and steadily trying to catch the pace. But now you need to increase your writing speed along with me and also increase your presence of mind so that things can be grasped by you in a flash. Now I will take such a good example that you will understand the basics in a flash. But for that, you need to stay afresh. Like this cannot be done after attending office. Like Harshita said, we can speed it up a bit. We will talk about it in few days, dear. So you all should know that if you are tired from morning till evening, due to which your mind's alertness has weakened, then it will not work for you. So try to be very attentive while attending classes. Concept of resident director is that a person needs to be a resident, that he should have lived in the country for more than or equal to 182 days in past year. That's it. So in the past year, more than 182 days, sorry, more than or equal to 182 days. Okay. Did you get it? Write a small concept in the above question. If your company is newly incorporated, if your company has been newly incorporated, meaning if it is a brand new company, then in 6 months, provision for woman director will apply on it. If company has just been incorporated and has started to run business, then you have to appoint a woman director within 6 months, meaning you will be given a time period of 6 months. Get started as a company and within 6 months you can appoint a woman director. So what is resident director? Who is for more than equal to 182 days. Quickly moving on. Now after that comes the biggest concept, which is known to be studied as independent director. So tell me guys, what is this term independent director? I mean, what is that concept about and why is it required? Now when the Satyam scam happened, we then realized that we need to focus more on independent directors, and the provisions for independent directors are required to be stronger than ever, right? That is why independent director is significant in today's time. How? Suppose in Reliance, Mukesh Ambani, Isha Ambani, Anant Ambani and Akash Ambani, these people are holding positions. And if there is fraud happening in company, who will reveal it? If tomorrow a scam like Satyam happens in another big company like Adani, then will anyone come outside and tell us about that? So we understood in board of directors, we need some people who are not affiliated to anybody. We needed independent directors in the board of directors. Okay. Sir, should I appoint my aunt? She anyways don't believe in relations. Guys, don't say things like this. First understand the concepts properly. If someone sees this video, what impression will I make? What did I say? I said it should be a kind of person who is not related to someone running the company. If you put that person there, then tomorrow if there's a fraud in the company, he will be the first to point out things because he has nothing to do with the company. Now a question arises, who should be appointed as independent director? In other words, independent director's provision is applicable to whom? Let's divide this in 3 parts. If your company is a listed company, then for the listed company, what does the rule say? At least 1/3 of the directors should be independent. Is it clear? Let's say there are 10 directors in your company. So how many independent directors should be there? 1/3 of 10, which is 3.33. Tell me if we can have half of a person. No, right? So at least 4 persons are required here as an independent director. You have to appoint 4 directors. 4 such directors who are independent. Do you know what independent means? It means not dependent. Now you will say, great, this is exactly why we needed this class. This is what I didn't understand. Just kidding. I said the independent director is 1/3 of the total directors. Don't ignore this topic as you will surely get a question on this. So listen carefully now. If you are not a listed company, if you are unlisted and you are a public company, then you need independent director only if your paid up share capital is 10 crore or more. So students, the turnover that you have with you is either 100 crores or more than that, or the outstanding loan that you have, or debenture or deposit. So students, the outstanding loan or outstanding debentures or outstanding deposits that you have with you, if they are more than 50 crores, look here, it's more than or equal to, and the same is here, but here it is only more than. What is this? It's an unlisted public company. If this is an unlisted public company, if your company is unlisted public company, then you will have this limit, but this is only for unlisted public companies. So now students, all this means that if your company is private, then this provision is not applicable to you. Okay. It means that government is saying that if it is private company, then your shares are among each other. Public has nothing to do with it. You can do anything. Okay. Because what will happen in the case of private company, we really don't care. So if you want to have the provision, then you can have it. If you don't want to, then don't have it. Okay. Did you understood what am I saying, students? So what happened? This is a private company's provision which is not applicable. So now this is the limit for unlisted public company. Keep all this in mind. Did you understand all of this? Look at me, students, so that you can understand it in a better way. Okay. So remember these limits, as this is important. An unlisted public paid up share capital should be either 10 crores or more. Turnover should be 10 crores or more than that. And outstanding loan debenture deposits should be more than 50 crores. Should be more than 50 crores. So guys, look here, look at the limits which are given on the screen. So in the future, same limits will come to your audit committee. And same limit will be applicable to nomination remuneration committee. You will learn it when we will read section 177 and 178, but it will be applicable to audit committee and nomination remuneration committee. Now keep this in mind, okay? Here I am going to explain a new topic to you which is very important. Please be attentive, guys. So now look carefully on the screen, please. So here what did I say? I told you all that if you focus paid up on this. Look guys, this paid up share capital and the turnover you see here, this is for the women directors. So this will be as per latest audited financial statement, latest audited financial statement. So if I ask you, students, don't write what I am writing. You can write this latest audited financial statement. I have a financial statement for March 31st and another one for June 30th. So if I ask you all, which one should I take? Speak up. Students, which one should I choose? But the study material has 50 crores or more. Cut it down and rewrite it as 50 crores or more than 50 crores. Cut down what is already written there. It's not an amendment. It is a mistake. It was never 50 crores or more. Cut it. So guys, did you all understand this? Yes. Okay, but now students, if you carefully look here at the limit, here what will be the paid up share capital and turnover? So this will be as per latest audited financial statement, and the one which is written here, it will be same with this one. Okay, so I didn't answer this one. Between 31st March and 30th June, you won't choose 30th June. There is no quarterly audit. There is a quarterly review, which we call a limited review. Your audit is for a whole year. Okay, so guys, you will take the numbers for March 31st. I am telling you, the institute will test your expertise in this way. They will give you lots of numbers to confuse you. You need to understand that you have to take 31 March because that is when the audit takes place. Okay, so on June 30th, there will be an LR who said you have very good practical knowledge. I am proud of you. LR is limited review, right, students? Okay, friends, so now can you please tell me what did I say after that? After that, I said, now please listen carefully to what I have to say, okay? After that, please listen carefully, students. This provision that we have made, there is also an exception to it. So now guys, the unlisted public company also has an exception, which is if you are a joint venture. So if you are a wholly owned subsidiary or if you are a dormant company, you will not require an independent director for you. So did you all understand what I am saying, students? Is my point clear? If you are in a joint venture, in any case, no matter how much is your paid up share capital and turnover, if you are a joint venture or if you are a wholly owned subsidiary or if you are a dormant company, then the provision of independent directors will not be applicable to you. But I have a question for you. Okay. So students, please tell me if joint venture and wholly owned subsidiaries, you know what guys, I have something to say to you all. Listen to me carefully. Don't disturb me. You can ask queries about the pricing of lecture on conversion. Kids, just try my job for once. You will understand how tough it is to speak for 30 to 50 hours. You have gotten so used to free things that you will even start filling out return for free. Please don't disturb me in the middle of the class. It will take me a second to make you all quiet. Kids, we can have a word when this class gets over. Okay, now listen. Please wait a second, students. I will tell my team that anyone who talks anything apart from SPOM class, please disable that. Please do it right now. You guys are just irritating me. You are forcing the person who is teaching you with enjoyment. You guys just sit there with your small issues. Students, pay attention. I will start SEBI after this. Directly after this, we will do SEBI. What did I say? I said we expect joint ventures only on subsidiary or dormant companies. This is an exception. Look here, I have a question. If there is a joint venture, if there is a joint venture that is listed company, then will it require an independent director or not? In unlisted public companies, it will not be required whether it's joint venture, subsidiary or dormant company. But for listed company, so this question will have no point. Why? Because how can a joint venture be listed? Apart from that, how will wholly owned subsidiary be listed? A wholly owned subsidiary means that one person holds all its shares. How will it be public or where will it be listed? So these companies are not listed at all. So these companies are not listed. So such question does not arise. Keep in mind that these provisions are not applicable to them. Is that understood to everyone? But now again, what if the independent director leaves in the middle of tenure? It will be the same thing. So we will call it intermittent vacancies. Students, what will we call it? We will call it intermittent vacancies. What will be in this? So in intermittent vacancy, you will have to fill the same next board meeting for 3 months on whichever is later. Did you got it? Yes or no? The independent director's provision is same as women director's provision. That next board meeting, ignore it, students, okay? I won't get it done today, but I will complete it by tomorrow. What did I say? Your intermittent vacancy will be same as theirs, and you don't need to worry about it after that. But can I ask one thing? Students now think that if these years were 24 and 25, or let's say this year your paid up share capital has become 10 crores or more, or students, what if I tell you about COVID? COVID was during 2020 and 2021. So during COVID, a company sold so many masks and their sale was high. Their turnover was 200 crore rupees. But after that, their turnover has not reached 20 crores. It hasn't even reached 20 crores. So what is the problem? This provision due to being 200 crores. They are required to have an independent director provision. Why? Because paid up share capital is 10 crores or more, turnover is 100 crores or more. Now tell me guys, which provision is applied on them? Provision of independent director. Now their turnover is low. Even after that, will they remain as independent directors for life? To this law stated, no, they will not. Law stated if for 3 consecutive years, listen to me carefully, for 3 consecutive years, if you don't cross these limits, I will repeat it once again. If you don't cross these limits for 3 consecutive years, so after that, the independent director provision will not apply to you. If you don't breach this limit continuously for 3 years, meaning paid up share capital is not 10 crores, turnover is not 100 crores, and loan is not 50 crores. So in that case, after 3 years, you will no longer need to have independent director provision. It will be over. After that, you can continue as normal without an independent director. So students, after that, a big question arises. What does independent mean? Can you explain to me what independent means? Instead of explaining its meaning, I will give you a feel, okay? So guys, listen to me very carefully. What if I ask you all that in Reliance Industries? Can I say, is Mukesh Ambani independent or is he not? It is a very simple question, whether Mukesh Ambani is independent or is he not. Is Mukesh Ambani independent? He is not independent at all, students, right or not? So what does independent mean? It means someone who has no financial ties or emotional relationship with the company, no ties whatsoever. So now who is coming in that, students? We will hold that for now. So who? So now who can become independent director? Discuss later. So we will read it ahead, students, but there are many basic questions, basic concepts. Basic concepts like who can become independent director, promoter. A promoter of the company cannot become the independent director. So promoter of a company means, for example, promoter of Reliance is Mukesh Ambani. So Mukesh Ambani and his entire family or any of his relatives cannot become an independent director. Students, there are many qualifications which we will learn in tomorrow's class. In today's class, we will learn basics, okay? Now we are proceeding ahead. Listen carefully to me. If there is an independent director, he has to tell the board of directors that he is independent. I am repeating it. He has to tell the board of directors that he is independent. If he is independent director, then he has to keep going back to the board of directors and assure them that he still is independent, okay? So let us assume that there are 12 qualifications for being an independent director. Did you understand to what I said? Will the board of directors sit and check it every day? No. So for this reason, the law has made the independent directors responsible. Carefully look at the screen, students. Please pay attention here. So look here, this is the board of directors of Reliance. This is very interesting to learn. Listen to me carefully. This is Mukesh Ambani, okay? After that, he have appointed his 3 children also, daughter Isha Ambani and 2 sons Akash Ambani and Anant Ambani. Now look above the name of Mukesh Ambani. Chairman and managing director is written there, right? What is written below it? Isha Ambani, Akash Ambani and Anant Ambani are non-executive directors. What have they written? Non-executive directors. Students Hital Meshwani and Nikhil Meshwani, these 2 people are the 2 heads of the company. Then you see PMS Prasad. So Hital Meshwani, Nikhil Meshwani and PMS are executive directors as written in brackets. Raminder S and other 2 names are independent directors as written in brackets. What is written here? Independent directors. This means there are 7 independent directors. So students, is Reliance a listed company? Yes, it is. So tell me students, how many independent directors should be there in a listed company? Let's see how many are in total. If we look here carefully and count, there are 14 directors in total. How many are there? 14 in total. How much is 1/3 of 14? 1/3 of 14 means at least 5. So they should have at least 5 independent directors, but they have appointed 7. So you might say that Reliance is a goodwill company. No, because SEBI Act is monitoring them. SEBI Act is not as same as the Companies Act. The SEBI regulations under the SEBI Act says that more than half of majority should be of independent directors. Did everyone understood the point? So students, that is why 7 out of 14 directors are independent directors, and that is why Mukesh Ambani appointed them. Do you think Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani will appoint independent directors just for fun? No, they are mandated to do so. Now guys, look here and tell me one thing, executive and non-executive. Now comes independent directors. Will you go and check independence of everyone? No. So they have to report to the board themselves. And when the first board meeting takes place. So students, it means when they will attend the first board meeting. Is that right? Tell me everyone. So first board meeting which they will attend. Is that okay? And students, the second one is they will have to give such declaration in the first board meeting each year. Okay guys? So when they attend the first board meeting of their life, even then they will declare that they are independent. They will have to give a declaration that they are independent. It is important. After that, when they will give declaration in first board meeting every year, and even after that, whenever there are any changes done in the company, whenever there are any changes in any circumstances, then what will they say? Guys, at that time, they will come and ensure that don't worry, I am still independent director. So they will have to reassure them about their position in company. So students, they will have to do this. Is that clear? Your first board meeting, every year's first board meeting, and whenever there are any changes, you have to give declaration for these 3 times. So you are understanding what I am saying? Okay. So can women be both director and independent director? Tell me the answer. I will say the answer is yes, they can be both. Students, keep this in mind that the Companies Act doesn't say that it needs a women independent director. Did you understand it? Companies Act never says that only women should be independent director, but if you do, they have no issue about that. Okay, good. So let's move ahead, students. So ID means independent director. Okay. Now what is the time period for ID? One student is asking about it. So now we will have to study that. But before that, what will ID get in return? So what does an independent director get in terms of money? Can anyone tell me what does he get in terms of compensation? Students, always remember that an independent director is prohibited. He is prohibited from what? From stock options. Prohibited from stock options means what? Prohibited from stock options means that he will not get any stock option plan under any circumstances. This means that they cannot have any shares in company. Why, students? Because if you gave him shares, then he would be dependent on you. So you cannot give stock options to independent directors because of its side effects and repercussions. Did you understand what I said? So what can be given to independent directors? You can give the director a remuneration. Giving remuneration means you can give them their salary. It can be profit based. It can be profit based. There is no issue with that. This means that he will get a certain % of the profit made. Second is that you will have to give him his sitting fee. Now here the sitting fee means the money for sitting. Please tell us, where do we find this job? Trust me, I will do anything for this position. Now listen to me, students. Sitting fee means that when the meeting of board of directors takes place, you take out your precious time and the fee is paid for that precious time, which can be up to 1 lakh rupees. So the sitting fee can go up to 1 lakh rupees for 1 hour. So you can give him the sitting fee. And whatever expenses are incurred in order to attend the sitting, you can reimburse him for that. That's all. Nothing more than that have to be given. Whatever expenses were made to attend the meeting, their reimbursement can be done. You can't do anything else. You can give them profit-based commission and reimburse them. Only that can be done from your side. Is that clear? Here a student is asking if out of 10, 1/3 of the directors, which is equals to 4, if we appoint one independent director, can a woman be an independent director? Guys, answer is yes. Students, please listen right now. I will scroll up because I haven't even told you the limit for unlisted companies. In an unlisted public company, how many independent directors should be there? In a listed company, you said 1/3. What about unlisted public companies? Guys, unlisted public companies should have at least 2 independent directors. Did you all get my point? We didn't say 1/3. We said if it's unlisted public company, then there should be at least more than 2 independent directors. So students, and in case of unlisted companies, thank you so much students. I am very thankful to all of you. In case of unlisted companies, there should be how many independent directors? At least 2 independent directors should be there. Please keep this in mind. What have we done? So our compensation point is done. The students, this point will give you 1 mark. How much? 1 mark. What? An independent director can never get ESOPs? It's impossible. Right or not? Sir, answer this. Should women directors always be independent? Ashutosh, I have told you the same thing. Students, I said that the Companies Act does not specify that a women director should be independent. It could be there in SEBI Act. Now let's proceed ahead. So tell me, what will be the tenure? Students' tenure is very simple. So carefully look at what I'm writing here. So you can be appointed for a period of 5 years. Initially, you can be appointed as an independent director for up to 5 consecutive years. For 5 years. Is it possible to get reappointed after that? The law says yes. You can get reappointed after that. Guys, you can definitely get reappointed, but for how many years can you be reappointed? It's the same. You can be reappointed up to 5 years. So now if you want to come back after 5 years, then you will need to get an SR passed and you will need to disclose the reason in board report. Did everyone understood the point? The board report requires you to disclose the reason. You must explain why after being independent for 5 years, you are making it independent for another 5 years. You can be appointed for the first 5 years, but can I be appointed for 3 years? Yes, guys, you can be appointed because it says up to 5 years. So you were appointed for the first 5 years, but what else could happen after another 5 years? You could be reappointed, but listen carefully to me. Please listen carefully to what I'm saying. You can get appointed, but after that, you will have to go on a cooling period for 3 years to get reappointed. Okay? What does cooling period mean? It means that for 3 years, you cannot be associated or be in connection with the company. So you cannot be associated with the company at all. Did you understand my point? This means you should not have any dealings with the company. You will be completely away from company. Neither directly nor indirectly, you will be completely away from company. So this means you can only be reappointed once. You can't be reappointed twice. If I explain it in simple terms, then you are appointed for 5 years. Why 5 years? Because after 5 years, you will have to go on a cooling period. Did you get my point, students? Cooling period means you are not in touch with the company, no active connections or links whatsoever. Okay, guys, is this understandable? Yes or no? Whose tenure is this? This is independent director's tenure. Is that right, students? Was this easy or was it tough? You can ask me your doubts. Now, next point. What is non-executive director responsible? Let's understand this. So to understand when is a non-executive director responsible, you need to know what an executive director is and what a non-executive director is, right? Can you tell me an example of executive director? Just like you saw in Reliance, both Hetal Meshwani and Nikhil Meshwani are executives there. But Isha Ambani, Akash Ambani, Anant Ambani are non-executives. Now what does this mean? This means that the executive manages all the day-to-day affairs. Now what does day-to-day affairs stands for? It means that they participate in day-to-day tasks. And those who are non-executives, they are not liable for the day-to-day tasks. And whenever there are any important board meetings or discussions on the policy making, then they come into the picture for advising and giving their opinion for the concerned matters. So like Isha, Akash and Anant Ambani, these people will not work themselves. They will only give motivation. Now suppose that you have not filed GST return on time, or you didn't pay your GST on time, so the company will be penalized. Also, officers in default in some non-compliances of GST, it means penalty is imposed on directors also, but this penalty is imposed on executive directors. Non-executive directors are not liable. It's very simple. If I have started a company ABC Limited and I am an executive at ABC Limited, so I am responsible for daily work, and you are a non-executive and you just give motivation. You are not responsible for the daily work, but I am responsible. But when will you be responsible? You will be responsible in 3 cases. First, if there was any information or any mistake which you were aware about, which you had knowledge of, you knew that it was being done wrong, or there was something that happened through the board process. What do we mean by board process? You do attend the board of directors meeting, right? Suppose the GST return was not filed, even though the board was informed about the same, then you will also be liable. And third, if you have given your consent for that wrongdoing, what is consent? You saying, okay, no problem in not filing return. So you will be liable in all of the 3 cases if you are found guilty of any of 3 defaults, which are KBC, which is a game. If you are going to play or participate in KBC, KBC means knowledge, board process, consent, then in that case, this provision will be applicable. Are you getting my point? What is this? We understood it. Anubhuti asked a very valid question. So what you said above, will the profit-based commission not affect the independent directors? There has to be a fair balance. If you will not give profit-based commission, then independent directors might not even come. Because an independent director is not just anyone. He is a very professional director, a high-level one who is very renowned. You ask anyone to be your company's independent director saying that you will give him 15,000 rupees per month. He will say, no, I want profit-based commission. But to give this profit-based commission, I will have to get it approved from the shareholders. I will give the profit-based commission if the shareholders approve it. Otherwise, I will not give to the independent director. If the shareholders approve, okay. Is this clear? Okay, understood? Does the concept end? No, there is more. You know it was done through board process and you gave your consent. You will be responsible in all 3 cases. This was entire section 149 which is relevant for you. We have 149.6 left which we will do tomorrow. I am giving you 1 minute to scroll through your pages. I will get this voice which is lagging a little bit. I will get it sorted. Okay. Now please take 1 minute and read through and see if you could understand the independent director's provision. Can a dormant company be listed? No. A dormant company means it is not doing business. We will read about this later. Did I make myself clear here? If you have missed writing some points, I will upload these notes on the drive immediately after class. Don't worry, the link to the drive of this batch will be provided. I will upload the notes and from there you can see everything and write it down, okay? We will study about half limit of SEBI in SEBI's lecture. Yes, all independent directors are non-executive directors. Do we need to remember section numbers? No. Abhishek Goel, please don't criticize anyone, especially not other faculty. Please try to keep the chat environment positive. Okay, students? If you tell me, sir, your teaching style is good compared to someone else, it will not at all make me happy. Okay? Let's continue. Yes, Harsh, you can do that. You will get the access till tomorrow. You have read this. Listen, guys, there are some things. I am telling you things slowly. I will tell you 100 things. So the human brain is built like this. If you go and watch any movie, you watch the whole movie and enjoyed it. If you will rewatch the movie, there will be 2-4 scenes which you didn't notice earlier. Now, if any student says, "Sir, can you please go through this completely once? I will do something else. I will give you these sections revision audios. I will give you fresh audios of amendments." You have to listen to the respective audios so that you get the hold of those concepts. Because all of these concepts will be useful to you in paper 6 as well, and learn the director's concept thoroughly. Do you need to learn the penalties? No. Let's move ahead. Now, students, listen to me as we are moving ahead. I request you to listen carefully. Now we will move towards the section number 150. 150 is very, very interesting. I will show you something. Aika, Mane sir. Now tell me what is written here. Can you read it? What is written here is Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. You can see this. If I will go to the ICA website, what's my voice is not clear, don't worry. Tomorrow I will get it fixed. I will put on the mic, okay? Listen to me carefully. What I said if I talk about ICA Manager. So what is ICA Manager? ICA Manager is basically about, see this. Did I open the wrong website? Didn't the website of ICA Manager open? Wait, let me check. No, it's correct. Okay. They have started many other works, but if you will check work of ICA Manager. So what ICA basically do, it was established by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, correct? What ICA do, listen to me carefully. I will tell you what ICA Manager is. It's basically about, I need to find an independent director today. That means my company needs an independent director. So I need a person whom I don't know. I need someone whom I don't know. So now tell me how and from where I will get the person I don't know. You guys tell me. If I know, you will say dependent. If I don't know, independent. But if I don't know, where will I get him from? So we decided we need to create a data bank. Do you understand what is data bank? Data bank is like institute which keeps all records of students from last 60-70 years. Every student's data is stored. And similarly, what we have to do, we need to create a data bank of such directors who are ready to become independent directors. So it means the people who are eligible as well, and the people who are willing also. Now what does eligibility means? Let's say if there is any limit, there is any age limit, or if there is any qualification limit, whatever the limits are, you must be eligible, as well as you should have a desire to be an independent director, then your name will be included in the list. Now if any company is looking for an independent director, then ICA comes in the picture for this. This data bank building task has been assigned to the ICA Manager. ICA Manager means Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. They were told to create this data bank and said take whatever fees you want. Now if ICA Manager is maintaining this data bank, then companies will come. The company will purchase a list of data from them, and after purchasing the list, the company can choose whoever they want. But first you will have to know if that person is independent or not. Is that person independent according to your company or not? So who will do the due diligence? Do you know? The due diligence will be done by the company itself. Who will be doing the due diligence? The due diligence will be done by the company itself. Are you getting this? Are you understanding this? Sir, please start online classes in Tamil Nadu also. Sorry students, right now it will not be possible. I have already too many commitments. Okay students? Okay, now listen to me carefully. What did I say? You need a data bank. Look here students. It's an interesting and practical concept. Tomorrow if you start a company and need independent directors, then go to ICA Manager and purchase a list from it, and see in the list. Let's assume you picked any random name. You picked a name Apurva, and you decided that we shall make Apurva the independent director in our company. For that, first of all, you will have to ask Apurva whether she is willing to become independent director at your company. So what, even if she is willing? First of all, you will need to confirm whether she is related to you or not. If she has become dependent, after verifying all this, make her an independent director. This is the company's side. And now the question comes, what will Apurva have to do if Apurva is willing to get her name included in the list to be appointed as an independent director? What is the procedure if Apurva wants to include her name? Then first of all, my dear, she will have to go and fill out a form. While filling the form, she must pay the fees along with the form, where she can get her name included in the list for a period of 1 year, 5 years, or for an infinite time. Either for 1 year, she says I am certain to be appointed in 1 year, so include for 1 year, or else include it for 5 years or include it for infinite time. So you have to understand one thing. If you want to be appointed as a director anywhere in any company or as an independent director, before being appointed and after being appointed, your name should be in this database forever. Her name won't be removed from data if she becomes an independent director somewhere. If you are an independent director anywhere or want to become one, your name should be in list. Any person who is already an independent director or willing to be appointed as an independent director. Okay, Dhaval is asking, are reading these notes enough? They are more than enough. Sir, now listen to me. What I said is that the fees of the form that you will pay is either for 1 year or for 3 years or for 5 years. Now what Apurva did, let's assume Apurva filled it for infinite time, for lifetime. So that's sorted. But if she fills the form for 1 year or 5 years, then she might have to get it renewed. That means she might have to renew her name in the list. To continue being an independent director or to become one, the name has to be renewed. If you are not the director anymore, then you can get it removed. We understood this all. But now, let me tell you one thing, students. We need something to become a director, and what we call it DIN. DIN is identification number. DIN means director identification number, just like a company has a corporate identification number. Like a designated partner has a designated partner identification number, and we have an Aadhaar card. Similarly, director has a DIN. And also remember this, that you do not require a DIN to get your name included. Okay. Just to include the name, DIN is not required. When you will become a director in the company, only then. But we don't need DIN just to include the name. So if I go today and I want to get my name included in list, but I don't have the DIN, even then it will work. Are you guys understanding what I am saying? Are you getting my point? Okay, after that, what did I say? Listen carefully. You have got the renewal done. When will you get it renewed? Near about the 30 days from the date of your name expiring in the list. When your name is expiring, within the 30 days from that date of expiring, what did I say? Suppose your name has expired from the list. You will have to renew it within 30 days. Otherwise, your name will be removed. All of this is fine. You have included your name, chosen the time period, renewed it. All of that is fine. But sir, when you will get your name included, any random person, A, B, C, instead of saying any random person, let's say my younger brother Happy. Can Happy go and get his name included now? I said no, brother. There are some basic conditions. What are they? We will not look for qualifications, but you will have to write an exam. You will have to take an exam named OPSAT. What does OPSAT mean? It means online. It means online proficiency self-assessment test. Its full form is online proficiency self-assessment test. It's a proficiency self-assessment test. It is an online test. If this type of question comes in the exam, if the question in exam comes from this section, then this concept will be asked. That what is OPSAT? After you would have your name registered for the exam, you will have to clear this OPSAT exam within 2 years. Within how many years? 2 years. Sir, what do you mean by clear? It is just like the SPOM. What percentage do you need to get? You need to get 50%. But we are CA students and we want to know what are the number of attempts we will have. So then I said that your number of attempts is infinite. Woohoo! There will be a fee to attempt this exam as well. Now you have written the OPSAT exam. If you have written the OPSAT exam within 2 years, well and good. But sir, you told us that we will have to write OPSAT exam. The day this law came, that time Mukesh Ambani is such a big director. Mr. Ratan Tata is such a big director. Does everyone have to give the exam? We said no, not everyone has to give this exam. There is an exception. It means those who have a lot of experience, they are exempted from this exam. They have an exception. For example, if you have experience of 3 years or of more than 3 years, listen carefully to what I am saying. If you are a director since 3 years or more than 3 years, or if you are a key managerial person in a big listed company or in a big company. For now, write big company. What did I say? If you are a director or a key managerial person in a big company like this, large provision. Understand one simple thing today. Understand one simple thing. Will Mr. Ratan Tata write this exam? Is Mr. Ratan Tata going to give this exam? No. Why would he? Right? I mean, I have realized, I don't know why, but whenever I say Ratan Tata, I say Mr. Ratan Tata. When I mention Mukesh Ambani, the term Mukku Bhai comes out of my mouth, and likewise when I mention Gautam Adani, then Adani. Why does this happens? I will do it, Roshan. I will do it after class. Okay. The PGBP lecture of today will be uploaded soon. You guys do not have to worry. Listen now. What I said, that if you have been a director in large scale companies for 3 years, or if you have been a key managerial person, no need to remember the limits. You don't have to do one thing. That is, you guys won't have to write the OPSAT exam. Or if you are associated with a big ministry of central government, you are in a big ministry in the central government, in a big ministry, you are in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs or the Ministry of Finance, and you have an experience of more than 3 years, then you don't need to write the exam. Or maybe in SEBI, in RBI, in Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, if you are at a big position in these organizations. What will be the big position here? What will be the meaning of a big position? A big position means the chief or general manager position. If you are at that position, like a director in a company, here it is chief general manager. If you are at all these positions, then also these provisions are not applicable. In all of the above stated provisions, you will be exempted from giving the OPSET exam. You won't have to take the OPSET exam. You'll be allowed to become an independent director. It is logical also, right? You tell me, according to you, is it logical or not? Absolutely logical. Now after that, we will study and understand in the exception that not just of 3 years. If you have 10 years of experience and if you are a practicing advocate, what did I say? If you are a practicing advocate, CA's cost accountant, if you are in practicing CA, CS, CMA, then in that case, what you must do is you must be practicing. In this case, you need not to write the exam, but you must have 10 years of experience. Today, if I have my CA practice firm and I have been practicing for 10 years, and now after all this, if I want to be a director, I won't go and write the exam considering my degree, my qualifications, and the experiences followed by it. Okay. Did you understand? So you guys don't need to give OPSAT exam. So you will have to give OPSAT exam, you will have to pass within 2 years and score 50% marks, and there is a provision who will not have to give. Did you guys get my point? Did you understand? Okay. He says because ICAI portal belongs to Mr. Tata. Okay, then next. Did you understand? 3 years for each case, of course. This is case 1, this is the first case, this is the second case, this is the third case. You will fall under any one category among the 3 of them. Now let me tell you that a very important amendment has been introduced. A very important amendment was introduced last year. Listen carefully. No, actually it was introduced last year. If you don't clear the OPSET within 2 years, if you don't clear the OPSET within 2 years of registering your name for the exam, so what will happen now, students? Your name will be removed. Assume that this is the list. What was the name we assumed? Apurva. So now Apurva's name will be removed from the independent directors list. Within 2 years of registering, if you haven't cleared the OPSAT exam, your name will be removed from the list. Now, if you want, you can write application to ICAI, sir, the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. Sorry, sir, I made a mistake. Can you give me another chance? Now, what you will have to do if your name gets removed? Submit an application. You have to pay a fee of 1000 rupees along with the application. If you have paid the fee, then your name will be restored. Restore means your name will be put back. It means your name will be registered again. Registered where? It will be restored. Your name will be registered again, meaning you will get a second chance to give the OPSAT exam. Now what you will have to do? You will have to clear the exam within 1 year. When your name will be restored, then a separate category will be created. That means there is one particular category in the data bank of ICAI. Your name will fall under the category of those students who did not clear the OPSAT exam and whose names were removed from the list. So if you clear it in a year, then of course, very good. But if you do not clear it even in a year, then now your name will be properly removed once and for all. And if you want to get it enrolled again, then you'll have to give a fresh application, which means you'll have to pay the full fees, which you paid initially. So understand a small point. Just understand this small point. What did I say? Please just understand this point. Okay, so if we try to understand this with an example of Apurva. She registered her name for an infinite period. So how much fee did she pay? Assume that she paid 50,000 rupees. Now that poor girl got 2 years to write the paper. She could not clear it. But then if you remove her name itself, then sir, how will it work? So even after removing the name, then again give 1,000 rupee fee and you will get another year's time. If you clear it in a year itself. So very good. So your name's validity will remain infinite. It will remain valid for as long as it was originally intended. Okay. You will suffer a loss in one condition. If you do not clear it in 1 year, then your name will be removed. You will have to file a fresh application after that, which means you will have to pay 50,000 rupees again. See the difference? If you clear it within a year, then initially whatever your validity was, that will continue. But if you don't clear it within a year, you're gone, money down the drain. Now you have to start fresh. You have to write again. Do you understand what I mean? Yes or no? Let me clarify one thing. As I said about the listed and big people, whether they are in India or outside, it doesn't matter if a big company is in India or outside. If a big person like Elon Musk from abroad comes to India wanting to be an independent director, what would you say? Ask him to sit down and clear OP-SAT? No, you won't. He is from a big company too. So if you have at least 3 years of experience at a listed company abroad, that works. Okay. Someone is asking, will MCQ book case studies in ICAI's BOS app be covered? No, no case studies will be covered. All MCQs will be covered. A case study itself takes 20 something minutes, dear. And you don't need to do that either. It's not like that questions are going to come up. Just focus on the concept. Just do single MCQs. That's all. Okay. So let's go. Do you understand? I will tell you the basics. Listen once. Look at me. Hear me out. Look at me here. Let me make a request. Close your eyes. Please do it. Okay. Think of me as your brother. I will count to 3. See how it gets revised. 3, 2, 1, eyes closed. So ICAI sir has been given a responsibility to make a data bank, and this data bank will list all current and aspiring independent directors. The company can take name from it and appoint their own independent director, but checking if they are independent or not is the responsibility of the company, not of ICAI sir. Now, how will your name be put in ICAI sir? You can get it registered for 1 year, 5 years, or an infinite period or lifetime, and the fees changes accordingly. If you registered your name for 1 year or 5 years, you may have to renew it. And when do you renew? Within 30 days of the name's expiry, you will have to pay an extra fee if you renew. So after you get your name registered, you have to take the OP-SAT exam within 2 years. It is an online proficiency self-assessment test. So in this test, you need to score 50%. There is no limit on attempts. Clear it within 2 years, okay? But if you are a very big person, I mean if you have more than 3 years of work experience or more than 10 years of practicing experience as advocate, CA, CS, cost accountant, then for the name you don't have to give the exam. If you are a director or a managerial person in a big company in India or outside, if you have worked in the ministry or you have worked in SEBI, IRDA, RBI, then you will get 3 years. After that, you need to remember one thing. You take the exam within 2 years. If you don't clear it, then your name will be removed. You can get your name restored by applying, but you will get only a year's grace period. In that year, you will have to write the exam and clear it. So if you clear it, then very good. You will get your original validity now. But if you don't clear, then your name will be permanently removed. You will have to apply again and pay the fees again. Open your eyes. Those who were being smart, I tell you, you should learn from small things. I see it clearly when some people act smart and don't close their eyes. I know. Let's go. Now listen to me. Let's move forward. Please pay attention. Listen carefully. Let's move forward, please. So the thing that I am talking, I do mind mapping of it very regularly in class, but it cannot be too much. I will get the important things done. Okay, everyone. Let's move on to the next section, then we take a break. Write your next section, section 151. It's section 151. What does it say? It's about small shareholder directors. So, sir, what are the small shareholders directors? First, you need to understand what small shareholders are. Small shareholders mean those whose height is less than 5 feet are small. The people above them are big or tall. Is it like that? No, shareholding reveals this. Your small shareholders or not. So the shares that you hold, the nominal value of them, it depends on nominal value. Means if the face value of it is equal to or less than 20,000. If it's exactly 20,000, that works, but less than or equal to 20,000, then you will become small shareholder. Small shareholders means small people. These people are generally minorities. Minorities means in company, suppose let's say Adani company. So 50-60% is held by Adani and his family. Those who hold small shares, there are many people like you and me, we call them small shareholders. And nominal value is a big deal. You see, Reliance's one share has a face value of 10 rupees and assume its price is 3000. So you understand how much gap there is. So we are talking about the nominal value, not about the market price. Okay. Now, sir, if you are such a small shareholder, so here in case of a listed company, which case in a case of a listed company, you can have a small shareholder director appointed. Okay. But it is not mandatory. No compulsion, a listed company may. So may means perhaps. So your company may appoint your small shareholder director. When can it do it, sir? A listed company can either do suo moto. So I asked, what does suo moto mean? It means if they themselves means taking control over a matter. Okay. So suo moto means on its own motion. What does on motion mean? If a listed company like Reliance felt that it is neglecting small shareholders, then it might independently appoint a director to represent their interests. Their small shareholder director. But sir, if I talk about, I was telling you that this was suo moto. And the second case is when you get an application from a small shareholder. Application from who? A small shareholder. Sir, if one small shareholder or 5 small shareholders apply, does it work? No, sir. Do you know what they said? How many are needed? You know, either we need minimum 1000 small shareholders, 1000 minimum, or we need 1/10 of the total shareholders here. Okay, 1/10. So either 1000 or 1/10 of the total, whichever is lower. If this many people will apply, then only the company will think of the fact whether it should appoint a small shareholder as a director or not. If so many people would go and apply together. Okay, listen, I said that in case of small shareholders, if you have at least 1000 small shareholders, that means what? How many people are going? 1000 people. Or if you are 1/10 of the total, let's say there is a company named Reliance, which has only 5000 small shareholders. Okay, only 5000. Others have over 20,000. The nominal value is more than 20,000. So if you have more than 20,000 rupees, then in that case, you become a major shareholder. But if 1000 out of 5000 come, it would be too much, right? But as I said, 1/10 of 5000, which is how much, guys? 1/10 of 5000 is 500. So either 1000 small shareholders or 500 small shareholders, whichever is lower, the go and file an application means 500 small shareholders will work. If they go and submit the application, then it is not mandatory for a listed company. If the listed company wishes, then they can appoint a small shareholder as a director after listening to your request. Do you hear what I say, guys? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Now a question. Is it necessary for SSD to be a small shareholder himself? So it's like, I tell you one thing. If a king belongs to a certain caste, then generally he is from the same caste. I won't take names, but let's understand a simple thing. If a king belongs to a certain caste, generally he is from that same caste. For instance, imagine someone from that caste in Rajya Sabha. So you would logically put someone from the same caste, right? But if I talk about a small shareholder director, then a small shareholder makes someone seated or appointed. On which position? On this small shareholder director's chair. It's not necessary that he is also a small shareholder. Either if he doesn't hold any stock, that's okay. Even if he holds a lot of shares as well, it still works. Anybody can become. So the answer is no. It is not necessary for a small shareholder director to be a small shareholder himself. Okay. You understand it's not necessary. Who knows if he even holds shares, or maybe he holds a lot of shares. There is no problem. So now if you want to become a small shareholder, okay, if you want to be a small shareholder director of a company, of any company, so you should have at least 3 things with you. What are those 3 things now? First, you should have a DIN. Should have DIN. It's director identification number. Well, all director requires that. Then secondly, you should have given your consent. So the consent is that, yes, I am prepared to be yours. Okay. You need to give your consent. And third is that you ensure that you should not be disqualified. Under section 164, what is 164? We will read that tomorrow. Okay. In 164, you shouldn't be disqualified. Okay. In 164 section, you shouldn't be disqualified in this. It means that you are a qualified person to be a director. So section 164 tells that who are not eligible to become a director. If you fall in that, then you cannot be a small shareholder director, but otherwise you can be a small shareholder director. Is it clear? Did you understand? Sure. Okay, moving forward. So now tell me what the tenure of small shareholder directors is. Tell me. So sir, their tenure duration is of 3 years, and after that they have a 3-year cooling period as well. They get a 3-year tenure and a 3-year cooling off period. So they play hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold for 3 years. An independent director's tenure is like hot, hot, cold, 5, 5 and 3 years cold. They are appointed for 3 years, and after that they are not associated with the company for 3 years. Do you understand what I am trying to explain here, guys? Right? So will a small shareholder director continue his position for a lifetime? No, dear. He will vacate his office if he is disqualified in the section 164. If they were capable of attracting vacancies in 167, if they were disqualified in 164, if he attracts a vacancy in 167, or if he does not remain independent in section 1496. If he does not remain independent in 1496, then what will be assumed? Then it is assumed that he is leaving his office empty. It will be presumed that he is vacating his office. Are you able to understand this? Now, sir, a very important point, which is very, 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 very important. Please listen carefully. Sir, can you tell me that how many small shareholders can become directors in these companies? So, sir, you can be an SSD in no more than the number of 2 companies only. And those 2 companies shouldn't be positioned as rival entities in a competitive business. So you are saying that you want to be an independent director for both Reliance Power as well as Adani Power. Then the law says no, you can't. They are competing businesses. You cannot be a small shareholder director for those companies, but you can be a small shareholder director for a maximum of 2 companies, but not more than 2 companies. Okay. So sir, can I be a shareholder director of Reliance? And also, for example, let's compare these companies. Can I be a small shareholder director of a shoemaking company and furniture company? Yes. Those 2 should not be in competing businesses, meaning there should be no competition between them. If both conditions are met, then in that case, what happens? You become a small shareholder director. You can become a small shareholder director. A question will come up in the exam. Okay, so sir, what was this? There is a question in this. Okay, listen. Question is, small shareholder director, independent director is mandatory. So take note of this question and cut it out because it's not relevant for you. If you need, then you can watch my fast track lecture. It has a good discussion, but it's not relevant to you here. Okay? Akshita, your question is good but not relevant. Let it go. Understand that it's not necessary that he should be an independent director, okay? We didn't even read 1496 yet. Akshita, you will have more clarity after that. Harshita, I have already given the 20,000 example once. I can't give it again. Please rewind. Okay, please, dear, please. I hope you understand I am not being forcibly nice in demo to please you. And if later I will become strange, then you will be like, sir, this is different. What is true is true. You can easily watch it backwards in 40 hours by rewinding. You have this option. But I can't keep repeating because now imagine in such a large crowd on every concept, minimum 10 students will always be there who didn't get a specific point. So we will just keep repeating things again and again. But okay, I will tell you out of good faith. It's a simple matter of 20,000. You'll see the face value of the shares of 20,000. It's a simple point. The face value of the shares is 10 rupees and market price is 3,000. You just need to see if its face value or nominal value is 20,000 or less. If I tell you that I hold 2,000 shares of Reliance, what's its face value? 2,000 into 10 equals 20,000. So, am I a small shareholder? Yes, I am. And how much market price 2,000 shares hold? 2,000 into 3,000. 2,000 multiplied by 3,000 equals to 60 lakhs rupees. And still I'm small shareholder director. Okay? Let's move forward now. Do you understand Harshita? Tell me, did you understand Harshita and Raghav? Okay, so close your eyes for a moment. Let's revise 151 quickly. Last time you didn't. Come on, try it. It's a request. Nothing will happen in 2 minutes. Put your ego aside and act like a child. I'll close my eyes. Let's do it together. Let's close our eyes. Come on, okay? So section 151 tells about small shareholder directors, that not every company needs them but listed companies. And that too only if they want. Small shareholder directors are representatives of small shareholders. Who are the small shareholders? They are the ones whose nominal value is up to 20,000. Exact 20,000 will work as well. How to appoint small shareholder director? The company can also do suo motu, or the company can also receive an application. But in both cases, it's not mandatory, it's optional. They can choose. Sir, is it still optional if application comes? Yes, still it's optional. Now, who will give the application? It will either be given by 1,000 small shareholders or 1/10 of the total small shareholders, whichever is lower. After submitting the application, what you do? If the application is valid, then you can appoint a small shareholder director. 3 conditions are applicable for him to be appointed and removed. 3 cases to appoint are din, consent, and they should not be disqualified in 164. And when can you remove? If he is disqualified in 164, vacate in 167, or if he is not independent in 149(6). It is not necessary to be a small shareholder to become a small shareholder director. He might not even hold shares and still he can become a director. And lastly, I said that you can be an SSD for a maximum of 2 companies, and those 2 companies shouldn't be in competing or conflicting businesses. Now open your eyes. Yes, Sumit, it's all written. Open your eyes and say you understand. Okay, let's go. So I will stop this recording here and start a new one. We will be live on YouTube. We'll listen to some songs, but students who are watching recording, this recording will be for the first phase. It will stop now. We will take a short 10-minute break. I forgot the consecutive years, so you can be appointed in 3 years. There will be a cooling period of 3 years. Thanks, Raghav. That's why I won't close my eyes. You close your eyes during revision, okay? Okay, so let's go. Now listen to me carefully. We will take a 10 minutes break till 8:50 and then we will resume and then we will have another hour of class. I will meet you after the break. Take a 10-minute break. Let's start a song. It will be fun. And after that, we'll continue. One last request to you. If you like the videos, please like them once because that's how it gets reach. Okay. Thank you so much and we will meet after the break. Bye to recording students. We'll start again. Okay. Hello friends. Welcome back after this short sweet break of 10 minutes. It felt like 2 minutes, right? Students, section number 152 discusses the appointment of directors. Pay attention about the appointment of directors. Now, what does it explain about the appointment of directors? Guys, tell me what topics have you read till now? You have read about independent directors, about small shareholders, and about data bank. But till now, you have not read that how does a director enters into a company. You have read about it absolutely nowhere. So students, my first question from you is that how do you get the first director of your company? How does one become the first director of your company? How does he become one? Let me tell you how does the first director gets appointed. It's either written in the AOA Articles of Association that who will be the first director of company. In case it is not written in the AOA, let's say it is not written in that, then what will happen? If it's not written in the Article of Association, in that case, listen carefully. Then in this case, who will become the first director? It's your subscribers, right? Who basically become your members in the future. These people become your first directors. Either it's written in article or the subscribers which are present, they later on become the directors. Are you all following me? Can you hear me? So this is written in your AOA. Now tell me one thing. What is the tenure of this first director? Sir, its tenure is till a proper director is appointed. Until we appoint a normal director in the company, till then he will continue. There will be no issue in his continuation. Students, please always remember this thing. Let's say you want to become a director. Where? In some company. First of all, the company will have to pass an OR in the general meeting. What is the need to pass an OR? What is this thing? OR means ordinary resolution. In this way, the first director came and that concept is over now. Now we need to talk about the directors who will join later on. Like today, Mukesh Ambani is in the company. So when he will come on board, we will have to pass an OR for him. Write down in the bracket unless. Otherwise, specified. Unless otherwise is specified, what do these words mean? If something else is specified. So what does unless otherwise specified means if something else is written? What do you mean by that if somewhere you have specifically written SR? Recall about the independent director. SR was required to reappoint him. So SR was a must there. But in general, OR is needed. Along with this, 3 more things are needed. Firstly, this onboarding director needs to have DIN, director identification number. Secondly, he should not be disqualified as per section 164. No disqualification should be there under section 164. Now third and the most important thing, he will have to give his consent to act as a director. Tomorrow he can't say that he was forced to become a director or it was imposed on him. Not at all. He has to give consent for this. If he gives consent, only then he will be able to become the director of the company. Otherwise not. How will he give consent, guys? Any guesses? We have a consent form for this. This individual will submit a form to the company, which is also known as DIR2. He will submit the DIR2 form, which proves his consent to becoming a director. The company will have to forward that form to the ROC. By the term ROC, we mean to say Registrar of Companies. This will be sent further to the ROC in the form of DIR12. DIR2 came and DIR12 went away. DIR2 arrived and DIR12 left. But what is this thing? This is the consent of individual, which is a written consent. Now you have to submit it to the ROC within 30 days. Sir, do we need to remember this? It is not necessary. Just understand that the consent which comes to the company will surely go to the ROC. Okay, guys. So this was the concept of DIN. What did I say? I said that in a company, a DIN is required. There are 3 conditions. Remember, first is DIN. Second, should not be disqualified, and last, must have consent. So consent should be there. You should have DIN and not stand disqualified. Remember one thing. A person, okay, tell me this, can I apply for more than one Aadhaar card? No, right? I can have only one Aadhaar card. Similarly, a director can have only one director identification number, okay? It can only have one DIN. He can't have more than one DIN. Only one is allowed. Is this clear? You can't have multiple GST registration numbers. You are allowed to have only one GST number. Are you getting my point, students? Please make a note of it. Now there is an amendment. Listen. It goes like this. What are you saying, guys? Yes. Students, there is an amendment. This amendment is the recent one and you will have to understand it for once. They have given an amendment. Since you have given your consent, a proper consent to be a director and also agreed upon it, then in that case, you need to attach one more thing. So you will have to attach a national security clearance. What is this term? NSC. This NSC stands for the national security clearance. Okay, guys. So now what does it mean? Let's understand. Suppose you are not an Indian citizen, so you are not an Indian national. Now assume yourself as a person who is a national of neighboring country which shares the land border with India. Then what will happen? Let's take an example. Suppose this is India. Presume this as the map. I know it is not a proper one. Now which countries share its land border with India? So you have Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Afghanistan. Who else? Did I mention Pakistan? Yes, all these are your neighboring countries. All these nations are those nations that are considered as your land border countries. So if you need any help and you are a citizen in any of these countries in our neighborhood, then whom do you need to consult? You will consult our Ministry of Home Affairs. Is this clear to all? Consult who? Ministry of Home Affairs? Respectable Mr. Amit Shah. So you can visit Mr. Amit Shah and ask, sir, can I mean, of course, there will be a team of Amit Shah. Why will he be alone? He, of course, will have a team. Okay, let's not get into political protocols and things and continue to focus on our subject. Maybe we will talk about this later. So I said Mr. Amit Shah will give his approval, which is known as the National Security Clearance. This approval shows that we have no security threats from you. Once you receive the security clearance, you will send that along with the consent form and only then you will become a director. But who needs to send this security clearance? Suppose if you are a person who happens to be a citizen of the country which shares its border with India. So you will need to get a national security clearance from the Ministry of Home Affairs. And after sending that to the company, you can become a director. Okay. Yes, dear, right. Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Nepal. Understood now? Very good. Yes, all of you will get the new one even if you have taken it earlier. Yes, I have to look after the TDS thing. Okay, let's see what more is there. Guys, first tell me, did you understand till here? Now there is another interesting thing which is called concept of retirement by rotation. Don't complain that we would learn this later. Listen. So what is retirement by rotation? Please focus on this topic. Everybody concentrate on my words. This is a cleanup process similar to the auto cleanup process found in your phones, which helps in cleaning your phone automatically. Similarly, it's a cleanup process for your board of directors. Now listen properly and try to understand this process. I am going to explain what happens in retirement by rotation. Okay. Do you know the provisions of the Companies Act? Let's assume that there is a board of directors as per the Companies Act and it has 6 directors in it, or say it has 10 directors. Now, if there are 10 directors in a board of directors, then understand this. Every AGM will have same compulsory thing. What will be it, students? Come on, think of it. We will discuss who they are and from where have they come later on. But before this, of the total directors, few of them will surely see an exit. I feel sorry for them. Yes, some of them will be simply asked to leave and thrown out of the board of directors. And then the shareholders will have a choice whether they want to reappoint him or not. They will be asked about it. If they give their approval, then you can appoint him, right? But what will happen if they say no? Then nothing can be done. He will have to get retired. This is called retirement by rotation. The directors that you removed from the board of directors, they are called rotational directors. Is this clear? They are removed. Do you know why are they removed? As I told, this is a cleanup process. Every year one director will be removed. The process will continue till the last director is turned up for the removal. Then process will start again. So it is basically on a FIFO basis. Which basis? FIFO. This term means first in first out basis. So some directors are thrown out in the annual general meeting. Got it? When do you do this? This is done in AGM. You don't have to do it manually. It's done automatically. So listen, students, what the law says about it. Listen attentively. The law says that in every AGM, except the first AGM is plain and simple one. You don't have to remove anyone. And apart from the first AGM, what will you do in all the other AGMs? You will consider the total directors of your board. Okay, have you ever seen any reality show? For example, Indian Idol or any similar reality shows. So tell me, what happens in those shows? 1 out of 4 people is going to leave. How do they do it? Red zone and green zone are demarcated. Red zone signifies who will not continue with us. There is a possibility that they may leave today. Green zone means one is safe for today. But it may happen that in the upcoming weeks, people would vote them out. So students, you will also do the same. Whatever directors you have, you will divide all of them into 2 parts. There will be a red zone and a green zone. Now guys, we will treat the red zone as the rotational directors. The rotational directors are those people who can be removed from the board of directors anytime. On the other hand, we have non-rotational directors. These are the ones who are in the green zone, hence they are safe. Non-rotational directors means they are safe forever. They will never get disqualified or removed. Let's take an example. Mukesh Ambani in Reliance is non-rotational, meaning he can never be removed. No one can remove him, at least from this section. You can remove him separately, but not from here. So this was about the non-rotational director. Thus we have discussed both rotational and non-rotational. Rotational directors stand in the red zone. Now listen, what do we call directors who are leaving the board, or let's say they are in the red zone and will have to leave eventually? We will then say they will retire by rotation. So these are the people who will be removed from the board and the rest of them will remain safe. You don't need to remember the language because it is MCQ. So it is MCQ, not descriptive. So understand this, some people out of total directors will be put into red zone and will be removed afterwards. Now comes the question, how many people? So out of total number of directors, it will be at least 2/3 these people will become rotational. Meaning at least 2/3 these many will leave today. Now let me tell you about the 2/3. What does it mean? Suppose a situation arises whereby you have a total of 10 directors. So here at least 2/3 of them, which counts for 7 directors, they will have to leave the board. Clear? 7 directors will have to leave. It means if it would have come to 3.33, then a minimum of 4 people would come into the rotation, meaning they would be in the red zone. From those, always remember 1/3 will retire by rotation. 1/3 will retire by rotation, 1/3 of whom? 1/3 of 2/3. So if there were 7 directors, 1/3 of 7 directors will amount to 2.33. Students, you will do the mathematical round off. So this will amount to 2 people. 2 people will leave you today. The remaining 5 people are safe for now. We will deal with them next time. So you just figured out that out of 10, what number of people will leave you today? So you know now, 2 out of 10 will leave. How did you calculate it? You put at least 2/3 in the rotational, then took out the 1/3. Remember, it says at least in 2/3, but here it doesn't mention it. So when you will round off this mathematically, 2.33 will become 2 and 2.67 will become 3. In this process of rotation, those who tend to retire are called retiring directors. Now here, what should be the ideal number of retiring directors? 2, right? Who are the 2 people who will leave the office? It is decided by seeing who has been in the office for the longest period. Now, what do you mean by the longest in the office? The ones who were here from the very beginning is going to retire. I mean to say that basically, if you understand the FIFO basis, then the 2 people who were appointed first will leave the board first. What will happen if 2 or 3 people were appointed on the same date? Let's say there are 4 people who were appointed on the same date. Then tell me what should be done in that situation. Then do you know what will you do, guys? First of all, you will try to go for a mutual agreement. Mutual agreement means if A, B, C, D were appointed on the same date and 2 out of 4 people need to be removed, then it will be mutually decided. But what if you have not decided it mutually? Then in that particular case, it will be decided by the lot means lottery system. It means we will put the names of 4 people in a box and shuffle, and whoever's name comes up, we will simply remove them. So 2 person will be removed, meaning directors are being removed on the lottery basis. So students, now you can clearly see that it's a very plain and effective mechanism by which we try to clean up our board. Now what happens if a shareholder has disagreements with any director? Then in that case, law will automatically make him leave. And you can reappoint him if you want. Okay, fine. Did you understand it, students? Any doubts? Tomorrow class will be on app. Okay, listen to me. I will tell you an important thing. Remember one thing. People who are appointed in the general meetings are the same people who retire from general meetings. If you were not appointed by the shareholders in the general meeting, then you can't be removed from it. So first thing is to understand that when you are counting the total number of directors, which means the 10 directors, which is your total number of directors, don't pick these 3 out of them. First is your independent directors. Independent directors won't be counted in these. There is no question of their removal. Now second is a nominee director, which will be taught in tomorrow's class. Remember, you will not include those nominee directors here now. Besides that, you will also not bring the alternate directors. Is this clear? What is a nominee director and an alternate director? We will study that in tomorrow's class, but do not include them here. Now someone is asking, if the total number remains 10, how would one know that which one is non-rotational and which one is rotational? Do you know who are the non-rotational members? They are the ones who are not appointed in the general meeting, but they have been appointed by the board of directors, just like your additional directors. Tomorrow I will teach you about the additional directors in section 161. Tomorrow when I will teach you about this, you will learn that since they were not selected by shareholders in AGMs, so the shareholders have no right to remove them. So those who are not appointed to the general meeting are considered as non-rotational. Tell me, do you all know about the maximum number of non-rotational directors? Students, when it clearly mentions 2/3 here, then the non-rotational will be 1/3 max. More than that is not permissible. It means that out of the 10 people in the board of directors, 3 people can never be removed. No one can remove them. Anyone can be into this. You can decide it from an agreement. For example, Mukesh Ambani has an agreement on this. It says that he can't be categorized as rotational director. So because of this agreement, he becomes a non-rotational director. Are you getting my point? Did you understand what I said? Are you sure? Good. So this was all about the rotational provision. We will revise it later as well. But for now, please focus here. Okay, understood. Now what did you do? You have removed 2 people here. Who are these 2 people who left the board of directors? Let's presume some imaginary names for the sake of understanding. One is Mr. Jai and the other one is Miss Aditi. Since you have decided to remove both Mr. Jai and Miss Aditi from the board of directors, what will be your next step, guys? Think of it and let me know. Now you have 3 options in your hand. Pick one of them thoughtfully. You can exercise any of the following process. You can reappoint them. You can simply ask your shareholders to bring them back as the directors. It depends on your choice. Or you can make a new appointment. Let's leave Jai and Miss Aditi and bring in 2 new people. Or you can opt for resolving this expressly. That is, we should clearly decide that we will not appoint anyone. We will keep this position vacant. We don't need those 2 directors for now. Either you reappoint the same people or bring in new or get an express approval from the shareholders that we will not appoint these 2 people. We will not bring anyone. One of the options has to be adopted. Something out of these 3 has to be done. Someone asked would small shareholders will come in total number of directors. It's as simple as anything. If I didn't exclude anyone, everyone would be counted. Otherwise not. It is a given thing. Don't stress much about it. Let's ask a question. Did we remove small shareholders directors? No, then they will come. Clear? Now listen to me, it's a bit of funny story. You said so, but this question is not relevant because it requires going into a hell of depth. But now I will explain it to you. Look here. Please focus just through this thing once. You should know about it. Though it's not important, but listen up. There is a line in provision for small shareholders and directors in 151. Index is so big. Look what is written in 151. See what is given here. Rotation. Not liable to retire by rotation. What does it mean? Let's get into it. Small shareholder director is not liable to retire by rotation. This itself explains the fact that the total number of directors will include the small shareholder directors too. And now small shareholder director will become a non-rotational director. This is so because you can't retire him by rotation. There is no point of keeping him as a rotational director. You will anyways not do so since he is not liable for retirement by rotation. Where is this? This is in 151. But then there is one more thing. If you go and check 149, you will find something else written in it. It's the last line of 149. It says 152.6 and 152.7 is not applicable to independent director. What's 152.6? It's what you're reading now, retirement by rotations provision. That's the provision for retirement by rotation. He says that's not applicable. It's saying that the provision isn't applicable to independent directors. It says here, small shareholder director can't be retired by rotation. This means that the independent directors are not counted in the total number of directors. But small shareholder directors will be included in total number of directors. There's a very big and wide debate on whether small shareholder directors are independent directors. Is it mandatory? If it's so, then what will happen? I swear to God, this concept that you are talking about has never been useful in life, not even in your paper 4's descriptive. Don't waste your energy trying to understand it. I can justify each and every word to you in the next 15 minutes, which I did in my ultimate batch. And you don't need to use brain. You need to understand that small shareholder directors will come in total number. As he can't retire by rotation, he will come in the non-rotational position. Okay? Sir, can you keep the classes in the morning, please? No, Khushi, I don't have any free time in the morning. I have a direct tax batch of AK-47 of CA final, so I can't take it. Okay, let's go. Sir, as I was moving ahead, I said that you remove 2 people, right? There you can work in 3 ways. Either bring in new people or reappoint the same ones or resolve it by getting it done expressly. What does resolve mean? Pass a resolution that we will keep this vacant. But sir, if you haven't done any of the 3 that is given here, then you know what will happen. Your meeting, your general meeting that is there, it will be adjourned. Adjourned means that it is temporarily postponed. So you have to come same time, same day. But by next week, same time, same day next week. You understand? You will have to come next week. And next week, either you reappoint them or you book a new appointment or you expressly resolve it. That we are not doing anything. If not this week, then you have to come to next week's adjourned meeting. But there are many crazy people, even in an adjourned meeting, they neither reappointed nor newly appointed nor passed the resolution. Sir, if you didn't do it in the adjourned meeting, then what will happen to your meeting again? It cannot be adjourned again. Do you know what will happen to your meeting? Listen keenly. Now there will be an automatic reappointment. What will happen now? Automatic reappointment. Meaning those people that you had removed and sent out, right? They will be reappointed back on their own. They will be automatically reappointed means Jay and Aditi who were removed will automatically return to the board of directors. If you're not doing anything from the 3 options, then what is left for the law? But sir, these are some important exceptions for the automatic reappointment. Just remember the ones I tell you. Remember just as many as I tell you. Okay? First, they tried to appoint Jay and Aditi, meaning when the government removed them. When they were removed from the rotation, people tried to reappoint them. But sir, the shareholders refused to do so. Meaning to appoint them, a resolution was put up. In order to appoint them, a resolution was put up here. Okay. But it was lost, meaning the resolution was lost. Meaning the shareholders refused to appoint them. If you refuse to reappoint, automatic reappointment won't happen. Logical, right? Now, the second one, sir, he has expressed his unwillingness. It means they wrote it down in writing that I don't want to be on the board of directors of your company. So go ahead and do whatever you want. So when he expressed unwillingness, it means in a way he took back his consent. He has withdrawn his consent. So we can't reappoint him again. Okay. And the third one, sir, please listen carefully to what I'm saying here. If he's disqualified in 164, then we can't reappoint him no matter what. If he's disqualified in 164, then we cannot reappoint him. The rest, apart from these three, in the rest of the cases, we can reappoint them. Besides these, there are two more things which you can write and leave. 164 and resolution. 164 and resolution, these are the two more points. You can leave them, they're not relevant for us. Sir, not relevant from the point of view of paper 6. The thing that children could not understand in paper 4 was that there was a logical gap in the law, which took a lot of time to understand and wasn't even relevant. So we are not going to put our brains in that. If you are here, then trust me. Believe me, I am here. I'll take care of everything for you. You can just trust me blindly. I will handle the rest, okay? Please listen to me carefully. Just erase things in your mind. Come with a blank paper. I'll write all the provisions in it. Your mind was a blank sheet of papers. I have written down my law in it. Now you can go and write the exam. All right, kids? Did you understand, students? Hey, DJ Shah, welcome, welcome. Okay, sir, listen to what I'm saying carefully. 162, not 164. It's 162, okay? Write 162 and strike out. We have covered 164, okay? Okay, guys, now listen to me carefully. What I said, there are three exceptions. Now close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes once and listen to me carefully. I have just read the section 152. It's very simple. In a company, okay, close your eyes. 3, 2, 1, eyes close. Where does director of a company come from? The first director of a company. Either it will be written in article or the subscribers will become directors. I'm telling you something new. The sole member of a one-person company becomes the director initially, okay? After that, how long will the tenure last? Until a new director comes. How will he come? Fresh director comes to general meeting after passing OR unless specified. Then I said, if you want to be a director, then three things are mandatory. You should have a DIN, you should not be disqualified, and you will have to give consent. You've given your consent to the company in DIR 2 and the company will forward it to DIR 12. It will be forwarded to DIR 12. After that, I said that, sir, you have given your consent and now you have become a director, and then you will be cut short every year. In the year, total number of directors, out of which at least two-third directors will be rotational, from which one-third directors will retire. Listen carefully, two-thirds will be at least, meaning you'll do up a round off. Then the one-third that will retire, you will round them off with max. Out of 10, you will get to know that 2 of them are leaving. Who will be those 2 directors? The longest ones in the office, the ones on FIFO basis. If they were removed, if there are multiple people, then what will you do? Make a mutual agreement. Otherwise, we will remove you from the lottery system. In the case of the one removed, in the total number of directors, 3 will never be included. The independent nominee and alternate directors. The one who's appointed in the general meeting can be removed from it, no one else. That's why non-rotational director, the ones who can never be removed, this includes additional directors. After that, I said, like, you have to understand one thing. If you are, becoming rotational and 2 people are leaving. So instead of them, either you'll reappoint same people or appoint new ones. Or else what will you do? You will expressly resolve it for that place to be left empty. If you don't do any of these 3 things, your meeting will be adjourned to the same time, same place next week. If it's adjourned, which means it's postponed to next week. Do one thing from these 3 in this case as well. If it's not done, then an automatic reappointment will be made, meaning whoever was removed will be reappointed, removed ones will be reappointed. In 3 cases, reappointment will not happen if the resolution to appoint him had been made, but he lost it. Secondly, if he shows unwillingness and says he is not interested, or thirdly, if he is disqualified in 164, you cannot give him an automatic reappointment. Now open your eyes. Tell me, did you understand? Did you understand? When you close your eyes, then your distractions actually end. The second is mind mapping. Mind mapping means your brain places the icons that you wrote randomly in spaces. If you strongly mind map with me, then I will make you go through all the important sections and you will remember things very well. Okay. Some people are talking about class timings. Look, it doesn't get adjusted by your saying. If in a majority 90 out of 100 kids agree to change the class time, right, then the 10 who don't agree get upset. Please, my sincere request is, we are at CA final, we aren't at CA foundation or 12th standard. So keep requests that I can fulfill. Okay, sir, let's move forward. Please listen to me. From now on, we'll understand a little concept. We'll just read for another half an hour comfortably and we'll stretch a bit. We'll study for another half an hour and wrap up. I'll teach basic concepts, not anything tough. Sir, tell me, is there any provision for DIN? Tell me something about DIN. How do I get a DIN, sir? I mean, if I want to become a director in the future, how do I get a DIN? It's simple. You just reach out to the central government, and at the central government, file a form called DIR3. If you file a form called DIR3 with the central government, then the central government will generate an application number for you once you file the form with them. Sir, then we will review your form, and after that we will decide whether your DIN application will be accepted or your DIN application that is there, will it be rejected. If your application has been accepted, it means they've approved it and you should get your DIN number. You should have gotten the DIN number. What are you saying? Okay, sir, how long will it take for this to be decided? It will take 1 month for the central government. After deciding, if they accepted that, yes, man, you should get the DIN number. So through postal service, what will they do? They will send your DIN number through postal service. You'll get your DIN. And if let's say they decided that they will not give you your DIN, they will reject it, then they will check. Was there any defect in your application? Defect means at times when you apply and submit, then you miss some documents from sending or defect remains. So sir, if there is a defect, then that defect will be intimated to you immediately. Before rejection, you will get an intimation to correct any mistakes you might have made. After receiving intimation, you'll have 15 days to rectify that. Let's say you were supposed to submit a form with a copy of your PAN card and you didn't do. So you will have 15 days time. What to do in these 15 days? You will have time to rectify your defect. Sir, now in 15 days, 3 things can happen. Either you rectified the defect or you said, yes, sir, very good. The defect has been rectified. Then go ahead and reapply. Your application will be accepted and you will get the DIN. If the rest is fine, but if and when you rectified what you didn't really remove the defect from it, right? It was not removed. What does that mean, sir? You ignored it completely. You just looked away. Sir, your application you sent, it will be declared invalid. Invalid means we will update the status of the application as invalid there and leave it. We'll neither accept nor reject it. We'll just leave it with the status invalid there. But that same application, if you have rectified it, but you did only partial rectification, meaning we gave you 15 days and asked for a copy of your PAN card and Aadhaar card, both of which you've missed. Even after intimation in 15 days, you just gave PAN card and not Aadhaar. So it means partial rectification was done. So the central government will say, was that unclear? Didn't you understand what is rectification? Your application is rejected. Please go. Your application will be rejected if you have not done the rectification properly. If you didn't do what? If you didn't rectify it properly. Got it? It's very simple. You will take the DIR3. The application will be processed within a month. If it gets accepted, it will happen. Otherwise, you will receive a notice of defect. If a notice of defect arrives, you have 15 days to rectify it, or else the application will be rejected. What will happen to the application? It will be rejected. Are you able to listen to me? Are you able to hear? Yes, sir. Now tell me, the application will be rejected. This is right. Very good. But tell me this. Sir, suppose let's say I get the DIN number. Okay. The DIN number that I got. What are you guys talking about? Okay, so suppose I get my DIN number. So will I be able to cancel the DIN number once it's allotted? Can it be deactivated? Once received, will it remain forever, or can that be cancelled in any case? It can be cancelled in many cases. Sir, your DIN number, let's say it's a duplicate, meaning by mistake, 2 people were assigned the same DIN number. It was a mistake. It's probably a system error. So one DIN number has to be cancelled. Second, if it is found that you've received the DIN fraudulently, you have provided false documents. Let's say you are a citizen of Pakistan and you've shown yourself to be a citizen of China. You received it with a false intention, then in that case it will get deactivated. Sir, if the director passed away or the director becomes of unsound mind, then in both the cases it will be deactivated. First, what if your DIN turns duplicate? You commit fraud. Or the director passed away, or the director is of unsound mind, or the director became insolvent or became bankrupt. What are you going to do with the DIN number? What will you do with it? Surrender it. It will be definitely cancelled. Or let's say you yourself have surrendered the DIN number from your end. You surrendered your DIN number by yourself. Sir, there is a form for surrendering the DIN number, which is DIR5. Like in DIR3, you ask for a DIN number, but in DIR5, you surrender it. So if you have surrendered DIN number in DIR5, so when you surrender your DIN number, like take this I don't want, Central government will check for a thing. Have you used this DIN number ever? If you have used it, then the process will be very dangerous. If you want, you can surrender your DIN, and if you do so, the central government will check it and cancel your DIN. So what's happening here? It could either be your mistake or it may not be, but you are voluntarily surrendering it here. Okay, what happened here? This is the way to cancel your DIN. The place where you cancel your DIN number. Sir, now you understand that when you had applied for a DIN, did you file for DIR 3? And in DIR 3, for example, let's say some changes were made. For example, let's say there is a director who has filed his name, address, and phone number, email ID, gender, and marital status. Let's say his name, phone number, etc. is given and the data changed. For example, his gender changed. He was a male and he is not a male anymore. So, sir, you'll have to inform the central government about the changes of DIR 3 in DIR 6. You'll tell the changes in DIR 6 that I am not a male anymore. You will tell that in 6. So what is DIR 6, kids? This DIR 6, guys, it's about your changes in DIR 6. You will intimate the necessary changes. The things that I've spoken about, the main points, I've extracted the crux and told you. Leave anything besides that and you'll have fun. While teaching this, I was thinking I'll make a small separate book for all this content for others. Whatever I'm teaching is enough for you all. Maybe I should make such a book for next batch which would be enough and they won't have to think much. Okay. Did you understand what I said? Will you develop writing speed a little? See, kids, I'll tell you honestly. I was thinking quite a lot that in 30 to 35 hours, the only way to succeed is if you don't waste time in writing. Shubham, you'll have to teach properly and clarify. Now I'm telling you 100%, I'll teach you and explain it to you. You won't retain things because you're not listening with attention. And if you listen while you are writing, it will seem to you that the lecture is fast. I'll tell you why. You don't trust it? The next 5 minutes, stop writing and listen to what I say. You'll say, sir, just say quickly. Until you're writing, the lecture speed seems fast because you haven't completed writing in that time. I will tell you something very clearly. If you want to clear the CA final exam, then you have to bring 3 powers within you. Speed writing, speed reading, and speed interpretation. Interpretation means analytical skills. You know what's the biggest problem with MCQs? The length of the MCQs is 6 lines each. They're asking a very small question at the end, but the length is 6 lines each. Sir, if you can just make 6 lines. Someone has written, you will make us memorize DIR 6 times, sir. I recounted it. The one who understood, they understood, okay? So what did I say? I told you that your reading speed, writing speed, and analytical skills will improve. CA final exams are not for those people who are weak-hearted or weak-minded. Let me tell you, the last paper, which was the direct tax paper, had such big questions which were 6 lines long that the paper was easy. You were taking 10 minutes to read the question, interpret it, analyze it, and find the answer for one MCQ. How will you do the 30 marks MCQ? So, sir, what I'm saying to you is that for the next 5 days, you will just work to improve yourself. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm telling this for those who have not studied with me earlier. I operate like an Ayurvedic medicine. For the first 4 days, you'll find lots of flaws in me. By the 5th day, you'll be a fan of my methods. I wish this method could be applied to every subject. Writing, mind mapping, this is called as scribble. Scribble is something which is basically we are understanding everything by writing. If I tell you to sit down and start explaining things, like look, it's written like this, you'll fall asleep. If you write, you won't sleep. If you won't sleep, your mind will stay active. If you have reached the stage where if you feel sleepy while writing, then you are very lazy for sure. Keep your focus on me, then you won't feel sleepy, okay? Listen to me. Just listen to me. So I operate like an Ayurvedic medicine. You just keep following the process for the next 4 to 5 days. Then on the 6th day, you will give me a feedback on how did you like it, okay? Listen to me carefully. If you have problem with speed, I swear to you, I'm telling you, you don't have the option to finish the syllabus of 30, 40 hours. What's the second option you have? See, my child, you have to understand one thing in life. Just because time is limited, nothing will change. The basic process will remain the same. I have to read so much in the specified time. I'll keep the basic process same. It takes time for my brain to understand things. One can be 1.2, 1.3, but not 5x. If I had to tell you in the first video itself that if you have any questions during today's class, understand that it is very normal to have doubts. First time you are studying very heavy provision, the stuff you taught, it's the 2 days worth of content in the fast track lecture. If you understand things here, yes, I will handle it. You contribute 90%. I will give 10%. It will be handled. So we are going to nail it in 35 to 40 hours. But if you feel that, no, I'm really very much, so much anxious, my child, regardless of what you do, you will see the ICAI. Let it go. Right now, I don't want to become that person who is doing something by criticizing ICAI. The opinion that I have in my mind, I will not say it because let it go. So what I'm telling you is that you need to take more hours. Okay. You will have to spare more hours. It will compensate your both group or single group. You will have to figure it out, but it will take more hours. Okay, guys. Okay, the focus muscles are getting worked out. It is enjoyable. Very good. Sir, I have experience with your DT batch and what you said is correct, sir. What I mentioned was Ayurvedic trusted blindly for 5 days. Okay. Long live the 36 communities. I don't understand what you are saying. Let's go ahead. Go ahead means move forward with me. Got it? I'll revise the DINs and the director's point once. Let's go, sir. 3, 2, that's a small point. It's okay if you keep your eyes open. Okay, listen. A director has to give DIR 3 to the central government to get the DIN. They give the application number in return. Application approve or reject in a month. Before getting rejected, you get an intimation where your defects are said so that you can improve. If the application gets approved, you will get the DIN number. If a defect is found, you will get 15 days to rectify it. If it is rectified, then it is very good. You will get the DIN number. If you didn't respond at all, then your application will become invalid. If you do partial rectification, then your application will be rejected. Suppose you applied for the DIN number again, then you'll have to understand that it can be cancelled or deactivated. Yes, if the DIN number is duplicated by the person or if there's a fraud, if the person dies or becomes of unsound mind or insolvent, or he surrendered DIN from his end in the form DIR 5, and check if the DIN was used too much or not, whether it was used or not. After that, what will you do? Firstly, you will cancel that DIN and it's surrendered in DIR 5. And if there's any other change, suppose he was a male but is no longer a male, then file DIR 6. Okay, let's go. So this was the provision of the DIN. Let's move ahead. Listen to me attentively. We'll look into an important provision, which will be the last provision for today. After that, we'll wind up, but it's a very important provision. Where have you reached till now? Do you know till now it is 149 to 159, where we have a major provision of 149.6 left. After that, I will tell you 161, 162. You don't have to remember the section numbers at all. Right now, you know what I tell you in normal classes. When you see my 75-hour lectures, I'll tell you to memorize the section numbers, but it is not necessary to memorize them here in SPOM. Sir, I am keeping these sections pending for tomorrow. Now, I'm moving directly to 164, which is very, very important. It is about disqualification. A director. When does a director get disqualified? Drink water, take a deep breath. I'm not going to stop for the next 10-15 minutes. You'll enjoy it a lot. Okay, let's go. Okay, kids. Okay, kids. Yes, okay. Sir, you're very cute. Thank you. Concentrate. Look here. Sir, what did I say? I will split this into 3 parts. Look at here, 3 parts. Sir, this is subsection 1, 2, and 3. You don't need to memorize it. First, understand it. What disqualification are we talking about? Not an independent director, normal. Can you and me become directors of any company? I said, yes, you can become a director. But if you fall into this category, then you can't become a director. What does it mean? Suppose, let's say you have become of unsound mind. Okay, unsound mind. Unsound mind means we are not mad, we are mentally ill. If you have an unsound mind, you can't become a director. Sir, what does unsound mind means? I was going on the road and someone called you crazy. Oh man, he called me crazy. Now I can't become a director. No, brother, not like that. When unsound mind is declared by a competent court. If any court declares you of unsound mind, you will be disqualified. Second, sir, if you are undischarged and insolvent. Sir, are you undischarged insolvent? Or your application for the insolvency is pending. What did I say? You're either an undischarged insolvent. What it means? Your case is still going on. The case has not been closed yet, okay? And you are still an insolvent. Your case has not been closed yet and you're not yet discharged. And you have submitted your application. The case hasn't started yet. The application is still pending. If your application is pending, what will happen then? In both of these cases, you will be disqualified because we said let the insolvent people be. Why do you have to bring them? Why do you have to bring them forcefully? Sir, listen to the next point carefully. Sir, let's say if any court or any tribunal placed the order and you were disqualified after placing the order, then you will disqualify. Like for example, Nirav Modi. Assume Nirav Modi is neither of unsound mind nor insolvent. If any court gives a separate order that Nirav Modi can't become a director in any company for the next 5 years, then he can't become a director. After that, he can become. As long as your order is in force, meaning the orders are in power. You can't become a director until then. Okay. Then there are very important provisions. Sir, if you have been convicted, what does convict mean? Convicted means if you are found guilty. Guilty of what? Convicted of an offense. Do you know what happened because of that? Say if he has been convicted of an offense and because of that you had to go to jail. For how long? You had to be imprisoned for a minimum of 6 months. If you go to jail for a minimum of 6 months, you will be disqualified for 5 years. You will be disqualified for 5 years. Since when will the 5 years count? When you come out of the jail. You will be disqualified for 5 years as you've gone to jail. If you were in jail for 2-3 months, it won't matter. If you were in jail for 6 months or more, then you'll be disqualified for 5 years. But sir, listen to me very carefully. If you go to jail for 7 years, then you will be permanently disqualified. Permanently, okay? Sir, if you have been to jail for 7 years, you have committed some heinous crimes. If you have committed a serious crime, so let it be, you should never become a director in life. If you killed someone, 10 years imprisonment, will you make murderer a director? No, right? Will you make murderer a director? You will not make him a director. Okay. Do you understand? Do you understand? Yes, sir. Now what happened here? He has been convicted. If you are convicted of any offense, and in that case, you will be jailed for 6 months. And in that case, the jail term is for 7 years. Sorry. 6 months jail means disqualified for 5 years. If you go to jail for 7 years and more, you will be disqualified permanently. Do you understand? Sir, let's see it in 1.75 because it seems slow at the speed of 1. Wait a minute, I will tell you later. Listen carefully. What I said, this will be your convictions. Okay, if in 188 related party transactions. What did I say, sir? If you have done any offense related party transactions in 188 in the last 5 years. If you have been found involved in fraud related to related party transactions in the last 5 years, then you are disqualified. If you done it 8 years ago, so no problem. But if you have done any related party transactions in the last 5 years, then you will be disqualified. Sir, if you do not have done, then you are disqualified. If you don't have done, then you are disqualified. And if you breach the limit of maximum number of director, then also. Do you understand? Then also you will be disqualified. Okay. What is the limit on maximum number of directors? In tomorrow's class, we will learn that its limit is 20. If you've breached the limit of 20, you've broken the limit of 20, then what you can't become? So what can't you do now? Sir, please tell me what is the SCMP? Look, as much as I know about SCMP, there is a lot of change in the courses of SCMP. Maybe, I'm not sure. What I have heard, that is what I'm telling you. What I heard from students. So you guys, don't think of it as a promotion right now. The students from YouTube are something different. But I can tell my class students that you can watch the classes of Set B if you have time. If you have time to attempt, then you can definitely watch it. According to me, only the Sankalp Kansatia sir has released videos. They have good experience in costing. When I was studying CA in 2018, then I saw some of Sankalp Kansatia revision videos. So in that 2018, you can check out their Set B classes. If you like, then you can watch his Set B classes, okay? And second, sir, what about AK-47? Yes, yes. AK-47 is the batch of direct tax. Okay, let's promote it. Anyhow, I have to tell you that AK-47 is that batch where you can complete direct tax in just 47 lectures. It's a fast track batch. If you have read DT earlier or not, but you have the ability to understand at once, then we will end the direct tax in just 47 bullets. Okay. So let's go. What can we do in the November attempt? Please tell me. There is less time left. So what can we do? We will have to study. So what can we do? Yes, tell me. Did you understand that you can breach the maximum number of directors? Means if I am already a director in 20 companies, then I can't become a director in the 21st. I can't become director in the 21st company. These are your limits. What did I say? If you are of unsound mind, if you have become insolvent, or if a court or tribunal has ordered you that you can't become a director, then you can't become a director. If you have been convicted for some offense, you have gone to jail, and if you've been in jail for over 6 months, then you are disqualified for 5 years. 5 years after the release date. And if you go to jail for more than 7 years, then you will be disqualified forever. If convicted of fraud in related party transactions in the last 5 years, you are disqualified. If you do not have a DIN number, then of course you can't become a director. And if you have crossed the maximum number of directorship limit of 20, then also. Okay. Okay. Understood? I will tell you one more thing. That point number, this point right here. If you have been convicted for any offense, okay, have been convicted for any offense. Suppose the court gives some order, if you are convicted, or the court gives some order, or if you have been convicted of the offense of related party transaction. In these 3 cases, sir, if you had the option to go and file an appeal, what option did you have? To go and file an appeal, okay. In which case, if there is an order of the court and tribunal, or if you convicted of any offense, or if you were convicted for a related party transaction, then you can file an appeal, but that will not stop the disqualification. Even if you file an appeal, you will still be disqualified. What will you still be disqualified? Means you will have to leave. You cannot become a director. You will be disqualified. Okay. There is one more point which I missed. I will tell you, listen. Sir, if you have kept calls money unpaid, then what does calls money means? Do you know there are calls that for shares of 10 rupees, you have paid 2 rupees in advance, and for 3 rupees, they will call you later. If you were holding shares of a company, they asked you for money, and this calling means call for money, which is your responsibility to pay, which you did not pay. If the money is not paid, for how long? 6 months. You kept defaulting and you did not make the payment for 6 months. The law say, listen, when you are not able to pay your share responsibly, then how will you take responsibility for our company? We don't find you responsible. Okay. So if you are defaulted in the payment of the calls, if defaults exist for 6 months, then you're disqualified. If you remain in default for 6 months or more, you will be disqualified. Did you understand? Sir, did you understand what I said? Did you understand? Tell me yes or no. Yes, sir. What is the provision? These are your provisions for call money. These are all provisions where you get disqualified. After that, listen to me carefully. What does point number 2 say? Please carefully listen to me. Listen what number 2 says. Sir, tell me one thing. Look here. Yes, look here. Now listen. Sir, a company has to file 2 important documents, right? Company has to. There is no need to write this. Financial statement is a very important document which you must have read in section 92 in CA intermediate. No, in the 137. You might not even remember it. Or the second one, you file annual return in section 92. So just remember that both these are very important sections for a company. You understand it like there is a small child. If the small child is scoring well in the exam, child of 5th, 6th standard, if he is scoring well in exams and on her mother's request, he goes on stage and dances and performs music, then is he the best child or not? Will mom give him whatever he asks? Yes. In such Companies Act, if you are filing the financial statement or filing the annual return regularly, then you will be given exemptions. Yes, you will get exemptions, as many exemption you want. If I tell you there is a company called Nirav Modi Limited. Nirav Modi Limited had to do one thing. They had to file financial statement and annual return. But I heard this. In last 3 years, neither the financial statement nor the annual return has been filed. If the condition is so bad, then who is responsible for this? The directors of this company are responsible for this. If the company does such scandal, then the directors of the company will get a tough time. I said scandal. Scandal. Okay. Scandal. Sir, if you do such scam, then what? What will happen if you do this scam? Then in whose favor will it go? If you do this scam, then your company directors will be in trouble. So, sir, do you know what this second case is? The second case is where the company commits a fraud. What crime did company commit? What did the company do? Not filing financial statements or annual return. Company did not file its financial statements or annual returns for 3 consecutive financial years. For 3 consecutive financial years. Or what did the company do? The company defaulted. Default in what? In what did it default? If it defaulted in repayment of the deposit, in redemption of debentures, in the payment of dividends, DDD D3, deposit, debenture or dividend, or the interest that is earned on deposit or the interest that is earned on debenture, all of these have been defaulted, and this default has been there for more than a year. Either it didn't file returns for 3 years, or it has been more than a year since it is not doing basic work, like not repaying deposits or redeeming debentures. These 2 tasks are basic. If you have taken money from someone, then return it. So, sir, if you do this kind of contravention, right, then listen to me very carefully. Sir, your directors, those directors will be disqualified. This company's directors, the directors of this company will be disqualified from 2 things. First is that they cannot be reappointed in the same company. They cannot be reappointed in the company where they are employed, and they cannot be appointed in any new company also for the next 5 years. For the next 5 years, there are a lot of time limits in this, sir. I'm getting it in writing because you might forget if you just read it. Megha is asking and also following up on it. Megha is asking, sir, I want your regular lecture on YouTube. Will I get it? I will actually tell you, let it go. There are regular lectures of other faculties on YouTube too. Okay, Megha. Okay, you have free lectures from other faculties on YouTube. You will find many videos 120, 130 hours long, so you can watch them easily. I will not sit down and upload every lecture on YouTube for free. There are no free lecture. That is why we teach in such a wonderful way, completely SPOM oriented. So that you can study well, you take so much burden upon yourself. Now you will watch someone's free lecture, you will concentrate on them, you will concentrate on the books. So just leave all this and study quietly. Okay, listen to me. Ajay, what do you want the day you study? I will take a new revision video for you. You tell me that. Sir, I am going to study the day after tomorrow. Will you come to my house in the morning and teach me? I have already uploaded some revision videos. So let's go. Okay. Listen to me. What did I say? I said that your second provision subsection 2 is very important. You are not being removed because of your own mistake, but for the company's mistake. And you're responsible for company's mistake. Ram, Shyam, Lakhan. Ram, Shyam and Lakhan. 3 was the director of which company? RSL company. Now, if that company has not filed either its annual return or financial statement for 3 consecutive years, okay, or if that company defaults on deposit, debenture and dividend, and that default continues for 1 year, all your directors cannot be reappointed in that company, and they cannot be appointed in a new company. They will be disqualified for 5 years. Take company called Nirav Modi Limited as example. If in a company its existing directors are not working properly, so what will happen in that case? A new director will come, right? Let's say his name is Mr. Singham. You called and requested Mr. Singham to come and help you. Please help us because we are unable to file financial statements or make deposit repayments. Now Mr. Singham has arrived. All right. After that, when he entered the director's room, all the directors are asking to disqualify him. Singham asked for the reason. Directors say that you have entered in a company that hasn't filed its financial statements for 3 years. You become director of this company, hence you are also disqualified. Okay. The law said to be quiet. No new director will ever come like this. When Yes Bank had a big scam, then new directors were brought into the board of directors, right? Then why would they come if everyone will be disqualified? Tell me. So that's why we said that if in such a case when a new director is appointed, yes, a new director comes, right? So there will be no disqualification for 6 months. There will be no disqualification for half an year. You will be given 6 months time to improve things. And if you haven't improved even in half a month, you have to resign before the given time period gets over. Otherwise, you'll also be disqualified after that. What will happen? You will also be disqualified. Understood? Did you get it? Let me tell you something. Listen. Since 3 years, this company has neither filed its financial statements nor its annual returns. It hasn't filed anything. After this happened, the directors got disqualified. As soon as they were disqualified, they realized their mistakes. All right? So, they filed all the financial statements and annual returns within the next 5 days. Now tell me, will they remain disqualified for 5 years even after doing this? So answer me, dear students, will they be qualified after the day they corrected their default? Will they get qualified the day their default is fixed, or will they remain disqualified for 5 years? So the answer to this is that even if you improved it, didn't you make a mistake? Why are you waiting for us to disqualify you for 5 years? You did make a mistake, right? So you are still disqualified. Make sure that you understand that you will be disqualified for 5 years. Starting from the day this default happened, you will be disqualified for 5 years. There's no exception to this. Okay? Companies Act only stops you in so many cases, like if you are insane, insolvent, or if you are going to jail, or if it's some related party transaction fraud, you are not eligible, alright. If your company is not filing the financial statements or annual returns and not making the deposit for a year, you will be disqualified. But let me ask something, is there any additional ground like your age should be 18 years, 21 years or something? You should at least have a BCom or a CA degree. Are there some additional grounds? There's nothing like that. Do you understand? But there's a subsection 3 which gives you the power. This power is given only to private companies. If they want to, then they can provide additional grounds. Who else knows this? Those which are written in the law are fine. But let's suppose you, I and Disha Patni. Disha Patni, you and I, if you are a boy, then imagine Hrithik Roshan, all three of us are together. Disha Patni, Hrithik, you and I, we four opened a private company together, okay? One may ask what should be qualifications of the director for this company. The points that I have written in the law, we can write the points above them. We can add 2 or 3 more points in this. We can add 2-3 more points. We can add 2 or 3 more additional points, like we at least need a CA degree or we need MBA at least. It's your choice. It's only in private companies and impossible in public companies. Do you know the ways in which private companies can misuse this? Let's suppose Gautam Adani, who doesn't want Mr. Ram to join his board of directors, he's an independent director, so he'll look into the degree Ram has. They figure that Ram has CMA degree. They will say something like that in our course or in our disqualifications, or say he has a CMA degree with 5 years experience. So they will write that we need minimum 10 years experience. 5 years experience won't work. So you are putting on a useless drama by using it. We don't want that. You don't need to read DIR 89 for this. Leave it. Now listen carefully to what I'm saying. I have a question for you. Pay attention. This is Reliance Industries. It had taken a loan of 10 crore rupees from the bank. The due date of the repayment of loan was 31st March 2025. It's been a year and a half since then. A long time has passed. Are you getting this? That means we are now at 30th September 2026, right? Is that clear to you? The loan hasn't been repaid yet. Are you getting? Reliance has 3 directors in it. Now, what are those 3 directors saying? Let's talk about the 1st of October 2026. Now, what are they saying after 2 months? They are saying that they want to become director in a new company. Can they be appointed as a director in this new company? Can they be appointed as a director in this new company? Look at the question carefully. It says Reliance had to repay the loan by 31st March 2025. It defaulted for 1.5 years as it wasn't paid by 30 September 2026. After 2 months, he is saying that I want to be appointed as director in a new company. Keeping in mind 1684, 2, you tell me, can he be appointed as a director in a new company? Those who are saying yes, Onkar and Palle Reddy, think about it for a second and then answer. Sir, I enjoy learning from you. Please upload law lectures and go live. Okay. Bye bye, sir. It sounded like Ivan because Ivan says things like these to me sometimes out of his love. He is my nephew. You don't know him, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What kind of answers are you giving here to me? Now you tell me, can he be appointed as a director in the new company? Of course, the answer for this question is yes. What are you saying? You heard right. If you have defaulted on a deposit, it's a problem. It's on a debenture, then a problem. It's on a dividend, also a problem. And if all three of these have been in default for n year, then also a problem. You have taken a loan from the bank and it's been on default for 1 year. It happens in business. There were many bank defaults during COVID, but directors weren't disqualified. Neither are we bothered about loan. Look at Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. You'll understand this. We care about the deposits and debentures, which is the public's money. We care about the dividends, which is shareholders' money. We don't care about the bank's loans. Are you getting me? Am I clear? Okay. This question is about the default of my bank loan. It was defaulted, so even though it has been 1.5 years, it still won't attract 164.2 because 164.2 only talks about deposit, debentures and deposit. Debentures and dividends don't talk about loans and won't come under D3, okay? Now pay attention and listen to me. Close your eyes and then I will give you all a complete revision of 164. Then we will end today's class. Please listen to me. This is a very important provision. I will tell you 2 or 3 extra things. Listen to it. You will get them in one go. Now 3, 2, 1, eyes closed. Let's revise section number 164, which talks about disqualification. First point, disqualification can be at individual level, like if you are of unsound mind, or if someone told the competent court that you are of unsound mind, or if you are undischarged insolvent, or if your application is pending, or if the court convicts you for some offense and you have received a sentence in jail for more than 6 months, then you will be disqualified for 5 years. And if the sentence is more than 7 years, then you will be disqualified for life. Then I said that if the court or the tribunal has disqualified you, then you are disqualified. And if you haven't paid the calls of a company, okay, you hold the shares in a company and you haven't paid the calls for more than 6 months, then also you will be disqualified. And also if you are convicted in related party transaction in 188, if you don't have a DIN, you are disqualified. And if you have breached the maximum number of directorships, that is 20, then you'll be disqualified. Remember one thing, you can file an appeal on all these, but it won't help. Once you get caught in this provision, you will be disqualified. You will have to sit quietly for 5 years. 164.2 says that where the company is at fault, the directors are disqualified because the company's fault is the director's own doing. If company didn't file financial statements or annual returns for 3 consecutive years, this company has defaulted on debentures, deposits and dividends for more than a year, or let's say it has defaulted on the interest on them. All right, students. Then all the directors will be disqualified for 5 years. Even if you amend your mistake immediately, you will still be disqualified for 5 years without exceptions. But if it's a new director, he should be given a buffer of 6 months. He's not disqualified for 6 months. And keep in mind subsection 3. This subsection states that if it's a private company, then you can state additional grounds in your AOA that may disqualify a person. I will tell you a small thing, remember it. This provision is not related to repayment. A term loan, debenture deposit and your dividend is covered in this, but term loan is not covered here. And besides that, there is one more thing. If any director is disqualified, so he files a DIR 8 to his own company, the same company he is joining. In this DIR, he mentions whether he is disqualified or not. And after DIR 8, the company files DIR 9 to ROC. This is not very important, but this is your 164's revision, so let me tell you. Someone asked, sir, if the appeal is decided in our favor, meaning if you appeal and it's decided in your favor, what then? I said if the appeal's result is in your favor, then you're saved. It doesn't make difference whether it comes in favor or not. This will become clear when you read the vacancy of 167. In that, we will discuss exactly on this point, okay? Now you can open your eyes. All of us are like, oh my God. Today we read this and it took 3 hours. Tell me in the chats, let's see who took good notes. Tell me in the chats, be quick. Quickly tell me in the chats whose notes are ready right now. And look at the timing, iPad has turned off. Good. Tell me on chat who made the notes well. Yes, let me know who made good notes. Link to the lectures has been sent to everyone who has purchased from my website, which is shubhamsinghal.com, or through the app. All of you kindly check your email or spam folder. Everyone has received an email. Many students have made notes themselves, right? Sir, are you going to give a DPQ? There is no need for a DPQ. Absolutely no need. I don't want to force you to do something you don't follow. Just make notes. Okay, very good, perfect. Many people have made this. Okay, let's go, guys. For one last time, I promise you that this session is going to add a lot of value to your learning. 100% clarity is not possible. If it were possible to get 100% clarity in 40 hours, we won't teach the CA final law for 120 hours. 10 hours won't be enough. But I will definitely make you ready enough for you to get exemption in SPOA and in paper 6 as well. You will not have any problem, okay? Do one thing, whatever we studied today from 149 to 159 and 164 that we studied next after that, go through it quickly from your notes. You don't need to do anything else, okay? Is the maximum number of directors 15? No, it's 20. We'll study tomorrow. Don't scare me. Why are you talking like this? Okay. Some are asking what to do about the ICAI classes. I will tell you in tomorrow's class. We'll discuss in a private session, not in a public forum. We are here at YouTube, which is a public forum. So we will discuss many inside things tomorrow at ease, okay? Okay, so guys, you are on YouTube, and if you like the lectures and you haven't taken my classes yet, you will get the link below in the description. You will also get access to my helpful notes. And I will justify the lectures to you all in great detail, alright? So make sure to tell your friends to join us. And from tomorrow, we'll meet at 7 p.m. every day. We will have a lot of fun. I will tell you about the last day of session and other things tomorrow. You can schedule your exam anytime after the second week of next month. Is that clear? Most likely. I will tell you everything exactly in class tomorrow. Okay? The books may be available from today. I'm not sure, but I will check. Okay? You guys also check from your side. I will upload the revision audio in Drive. You can go and check it there. Okay, thank you so much. That is it for today. I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed today's session. Don't forget to like the video. Be sure to tell us how you liked the video in comments, not in live chat, because we teach for 3.5 hours with so much energy for all of you. So your appreciation is my motivation. You tell to us when you like it. When we understand that the viewers are liking our content, we will get more energetic and motivated. It's a two-way street. You take my energy and give me some energy, and that way we will make the lectures more interesting, more fun, and more content oriented. Okay? Okay, that's it for today. Keep studying, keep going, don't stop. Give your 100% and make sure that you will clear your exam. I, Shubham Singhal, your CA buddy, is signing off for the day. Bye bye. Take care. See you.